good, buddy.
Hello? Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the middle of the week, the halftime show, the midweek shuffle. Welcome to the news. And yes, a busy one tonight, friends, as we, wait for Sim Update 5 to be deployed. We're all waiting now, terribly excited. But in the meantime, there's quite a bit of stuff going on that, we shall have a look and check it out tonight. And got a couple of add-ons here. Brand new sound set from Echo-19. We're going to have a listen to it. It's for the Asobo Grand Caravan, which is actually kind of cool. You might remember when Echo-19 released the Cessna 172 soundscape. Well, it very much transformed that aircraft. A lot of people started flying it more. And I'm happy to report it's going to be the same sort of stuff when it comes to the Caravan. Yes, we do have a high-fidelity Caravan now with thanks to Black Square. But with the default Asobo Caravan, it is that of the newer version, the EX variant, which of course has all the fancy glass cockpit paraphernalia. You see. Then we're going to check out a brand new visual effects add-on from TriTriSim. It's called GFX, the airliner package. You've seen similar-ish stuff before from Parallel 42. This is different. So we're going to see what it's all about and, how it behaves. And we're also here with PMDG's 737-7, the high detail update. Now, I know they've done it for the 600, the 700, the 900. We're waiting for it to ramble out onto the 800. But if you wanted to know, well, what's it all about? We're going to check it out for you here tonight. So looking forward to it. Also, a brand new work in progress, but OnAir are working on a brand new companion app I'd like to show and give you an idea of what they've been working on. And with Flying Fries, we return to the XF-11, the Howard Hughes machine, which is absolutely nuts. It just received a massive update. Version 3.0, so we're going to check that one out this evening as well. That on top of all this week's flight sim news and updates from SayIntentions, who have been absolutely flat out. So with that said, it's 13 degrees in Tipperary. It was considerably warmer earlier on. It's like 19 degrees at one stage. 'Twas roasting. Now, I was busy today. I was flat out today. You wouldn't believe how flat out I was. But now all the work is done and we're here. We get to relax. Even though this is technically when I go to work, like accountable work, you see. But very busy, and there's all sorts of cool stuff happening in our flight simulation universe, be it the upcoming events, be it add-ons, aircraft, plugins, software, hardware. There's a lot of stuff going on in our beloved sims, so we'll try and keep you up to date on what's happening in the world, you see. How is your day? Are you enjoying the weather? It's going to change, back to rain. I also see that Lidl are doing a robot lawnmower. It came up in me alerts. I was like, oh, Jay. And then I started reading into robot lawnmowers. Now, there's something you'd want to be afraid of. I mean, I remember Robot Wars. Anyone here remember Robot Wars, right? It used to be on BBC, I think. I remember that. Though they don't play nice. And then you kind of tie it into the world of, come with me if you want to live. Right. You're going to put a robot with blades out, close proximity to your house. Does anyone have a robot lawnmower? And if so, is it any good? Now, you might say, Murphy, that's the worst thing you could do. A man of your description, you'd want to be out there cutting the grass. I know, I did right, but I also think the the technology could be pretty cool, Baseball size hail too. Wait, we had storms again last night, says Scott. Oh Jesus, really? Yeah, I've no hat on today. The hats are beside me. They're living up there. Look up there.
Showing off your grey hair tonight, yeah.
Do you know what I kind of said? Do you know what happens to... You heard that, didn't you? Do you know what happened? Come here, hey, walking past, a drive-by slagging, that's what that was. Do you know when you see, like, plants in the garden, if you cover them, and they whittle and... You've done it now. They whittle away and kind of... Well, I was thinking, would that happen to me hair? If it didn't see sunlight and fluorescent...
Crow.
What do you mean Miracle Crow? I don't need Miracle Crow. I have a glorious mane of hair. It's gorgeous. I've seen lions in the Serengeti Pass comment saying, Jesus, look at the head in your man. I'd love that amount of hair, so I would.
Have you been in the Serengeti?
Yeah, but that's not entirely important right now. The important thing is, I've lovely hair.
Grey hair.
I don't have grey hair. Do you think I've grey? Don't ask them. I don't have grey hair. I've beautiful, bright, blonde, peroxide coloured hair. Sometimes it's so bright it even looks white. I'm telling you. You need to adjust your colour vision. That's grey. Now that I can't help. Why that checking? Just that line. Yes, I think I'll be grey today. You don't know why it does it, but yes. Thank you for your input and considerations as always, Mr. Two-Tone. Thank you very much indeed. Jesus. Right. Oh, I should have worn my hat. But anyway, you're all very welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Yes, whatever the week is throwing at you, we're at the half-time point now, lads. Right. Monday's the hardest day. That's done. Tuesday is like, what is going on? That's now finished. Wednesday is a real case of, it's a long week. But now Wednesday night, you're thinking, well, hang on. We just have tomorrow, really, because Friday, we're thinking about going home. So we're just hang on, right? We're nearly there. And we'll be grand, right? It'll be grand. But anyway, look, who's here on this Wednesday? I've buttons here, look. And there we are now. I've more drama with my YouTube channel. It's to do with licensing of music. I spend a few quid.
Stop singing. Nobody needs to hear you singing.
I'm not singing.
Playing your...
I should play my keyboard on the stream.
Yeah.
Anyway, I pay money for licensed music, right? That's how you do it, because otherwise you fall into that territory of, right? And for one of the reasons, one of my songs is, I don't know, it's not covered, and I'm getting, I'm getting it, like, 30 or 40 live streams are all like, we found copyright content. I'm like, no, Jesus, then you didn't. And you think you can get in touch with the crowd who you bought the license from? Sure, they don't want to know about you. I'm going to go Karen. I'm telling you, Karen mode will be activated. I'll roll up me shorts and they'll be right, do you know? But anyway, we'll see what happens. Who's here? Look, like Bison, a very happy Wednesday. Good to see you, buddy. Apache is in the house. Vacuum is here. Welcome aboard. Super Typhon, sup? Hope you're well, buddy. Strap21, good evening. Sun Jammer's in the house. Fierce Wolf, looking fierce. And Wolfie, welcome aboard, buddy. Now, Tamal is here. I've been calling Tamal Tima for ages. And Tamal watches the same streams I do, and I saw Tamal in another channel. It was yesterday, and it's a Kerbal Space Program, and I was like, it's Tamal. So hello, Tamal. It's great to finally meet you. Right. Good evening. Liptorius is here. Good day to you. Commander Balosh, 17 months with a subscription to the channel. Thank you very, very much indeed, buddy. Hope you're well. Toto, 24.95, and Mrs. Toto. Mrs. Toto, good evening to the pair of ye. See, won't make that mistake again. Hope you're all keeping very well. APU Inspector, good to see you. We are halfway there, buddy. Mech Manser, happy Wednesday. Idle Cutoff, Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. Good to see you, buddy. CP65 is here. Good evening. Sir Camsalot, Nadude from Agoshlan Nua. How is she cutting? Creo, hope all is well. Happy New's Day indeed to County Mayo. Sumner is here. He says 30 degrees in Naples today. I'm lurking by my pool listening to the news. I'd love that. To be able to lurk by a pool. I'd probably get in a lot of trouble, mind you, if it wasn't my own pool, that is. But you know what I mean? Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, hope you're well. The Impossible Face is here. Welcome, Ian. He says, good news day to all from a swelteringly hot and partially on fire coastal Aberdeenshire. 31 degrees in your living room. What are we in here? We're 22 degrees in here. Looking at me clock gadget on the wall. 22 degrees and 13 outside. We're grand. We'll be grand, we'll be grand. Spitfire RAF 100 is in the chat. Good to see you. I don't know what I nearly said there. Jesus. Malky, good evening. In the news tonight, Patsy Scott's get sunstroke. Bring beer. Flying tonight, you poor old devil. Hope you're well, buddy. El Barto's in the house. Good to see you. Culkin is here. 98 Vulcan, a very warm welcome from Gosford, Australia. Hope you're well, buddy. Just Roy is here. Murph, good evening. From a warm North Netherlands. Tomorrow, 24 degrees. Wait, what? Really? Stu Snape is here. A very good evening. Watching for 135 streams in a row. Stu, your IQ has also increased by 135 points. That's how it works. For every stream you watch, friends, you get smarter. Now, right. Don't bank on that, though. You know, the lighting, I mean, I lose points, but you gain them. But good evening, Stu. I hope you're well. Sergeant Beast is here. Welcome aboard. Flipper Alloy, welcome in. North Coast Mike, good evening. Eamon, 1973, you're very welcome aboard. Pieman Jim is here. Flaming Nora, it is a Wednesday again. Chalks is here. Good to see you, buddy. I'm frantically midweek shuffling. Brilliant. Flying Trits, good evening. Is it Mugan or Mugan? But you're very welcome in again, buddy. Great to see you. And, well, happy Wednesday. I hate pronouncing people's names wrong. You know, I do it all the time, but I you know, I need to be corrected, you see. Right. Stick Figure, good evening. Old Veteran 965 says, happy midweek news day, lads and lassies. Hope all is well with you and you're ready for some wisdom. Yeah, wisdom. Yes, wisdom is. Heisenberg is here, tier 2, subscribing for 18 months with a message from the parish. He says, good afternoon, folks. Good to see you, Heisenberg. Hope you're well, buddy, and thank you very much indeed for all your support. Muse fan bursts in the door like a scene out of the Wild West. He says, how he is, his mad jokes, his happy hump day. Good to see you, Muse. Hope you're well, buddy. And sure, listen, it's the middle of the week. Oh, come here. It's also it's like Mugan. Ah, right, brilliant. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, it's a bank holiday weekend here in Ireland this weekend. Aha, brilliant. We're off on Monday. Doesn't really apply to me, but we're off on Monday, which is great, right? I'm going to celebrate by cutting me grass. Yeah, they need the grass cut. Robot lawnmower. Jesus, I could spend bank holiday Monday doing that. I'd get in terrible trouble. You know, if I were to, we'd need a story. A story not unsimilar to what we gave Gibbo. You know, yes, a bird came in the window and knocked over the ink. A man knocked on the door and told me to just, here you go. Try it. Have fun with it. Yeah, that'll be... What was his name? Nick, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Where's this now? The Boise is here. You're very welcome. Andy Brown, he's back from Spain and slightly tanned. Welcome back, Andy. Hope you had a great time, buddy. And well, you're very welcome in. Hermit Something, a very good afternoon to Boston. Hope you're well, Hermit. Happy Wednesday to you, my dude. Tenured is here. Welcome aboard. Norse Viking, happy Wednesday. Willow How Much is here. I was busy crashing my Mosquito. Then I had a notification from Murph. You saved my life, buddy. The Mozzie is a beast, but I love it. I'm looking forward to flying it. We're flying that on Friday. So yes, very much looking forward to it. Now let me see. Where's the hat, Murph? You gone naked on us, God forbid. Wait, what? Flying Trits, yes. That's my real hair I'm showing, you know. It's a level of comfort, you know. I'm comfortable in my surroundings. I can wear hats and t-shirts and sometimes no hats or t-shirts. Uniform Goose, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. I'm Pierce is here. Where's AI Wars? Yeah. We had storms again last night, says Scott. More tornadoes, Jesus. And baseball size hail. That's crazy. Viper Strike, hope you're well. Good evening. I went to a hardware store to get bolts and washers to mount Mimosa pedals, says CP. Ooh, sounds awesome. Grass, I have people for that. Ewald is here. It's driving around. Quite happy with it. Man, Ewald. Where is this now? Photos by Kev is in the house. Good to see you, Kev. Happy Wednesday. Chalk says, yeah, who thought giving a robot knives would be a good idea? Yeah, right. Do you know? Now where we're at. Well played, Viper. Wait, what did you do? Oh, yeah. Jesus. Come on, Viper. Graying away as you do. What? Hair's overrated. Yeah. Grey and flesh-coloured hair. Yeah, it's a new technology, lads. It's like It's stealth. It's stealth hair. Yeah. It it was invented in Germany. Oh, it must be true. The Germans. Right, that's what it is. Stealth hair. We need a larger hair sample. Listen. Excessively salty is here. Good to see you. Wait, hang on. Murph is colour blind. He doesn't see grey. Where's it? Those lions were lying. Very good, Heisenberg. Very good. Going on holiday Friday. Sod going home. Good man, Kev. Where are you off to? Come to America. You wouldn't have grey hair. You would have grey hair. I see what you did there. Very good. Now let me see. Crafty Tigers, good evening. Kirog is here. Lenny Brooks. Mrs. got a cast iron frying pan. Don't be giving her ideas. Talking about the robot lawnmower. Yes, I use one for my 1 square foot balcony. Brilliant. Willow How Much says, Mrs. Two-Tone, he's not grey. You have to have hair in the first place for it to go grey. I've heard the polish in his drawer isn't just for the desk. Now, right. And my guitar, yeah. The keyboard is only good for making your toes hurt. Jesus. No robot lawnmower, but a robot vacuum. How does that... Well, I know how it works, but is it any good? Hair today, gone tomorrow. Indeed. Cyrus T is in the chat. Good evening, Cyrus. Hope you're well, buddy. You got a copyright you can copyright a xylophone, right? Why do you need a robot lawnmower when you have a wife? Jesus, Kev, now that's brave territory now, huh? That's brave territory now. Try the mic is here. Good evening. Now let me see. There she is, Mrs. Toto's in the chat. Good evening. I hope you're well. Roll up your shorts. Watch your back wheels. Don't fall out, Murph. Jesus, brilliant. El Paso, geez, you're closer to California than North Texas. Oh, Jesus. Now let me see. Imagine-itis, good to see you. We're catching up now, lads. No comment on the IQ front. Wait, what? Crazy Core, thank you for 55 in a row. Hope you're well. Murph and Wisdom go together as well as Liverpool fan marrying a Manchester United fan. Wait, what? Your boss won't let you off, yeah. Miserable devil, Mac Vision, good evening. Where's this now? P.S. Miranda is here. 21 minutes and no news. Typical Murph. Also, hello there. What are you talking about? We've had loads of news. We're talking about robot machines, me hair. I did loads, Amy is here. Good day to you. Hope you're well. Nikki Fizz is here. 12 months, buddy. A whole year subscribed. Thank you very, very much indeed. Hope you're well. Now we're catching up. PQ, good evening. Can we suggest a cast iron frying pan with the TTM logo as merch? Oh, Jesus, to make TTM waffles. Brilliant. Some robots are good, not all. Right, No, Murph, the robot vacuum just sucks. I was waiting for it. In a box, man. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Right, we're nearly there now. Hang on for the big push. Why doesn't this button work? Oh, it does. Thrust Set Simulations. Good evening to you, buddy. Mr. Anderson himself has rambled aboard. Good evening. Carefree Gary. Man Gary. Captain Sticky Rice. Good evening. Black Sheep Jean is in the house. All I need from Moza is a collective to complete my ecosystem. Ooh, nice. Jane, it's good to see you. Jace Ward is in the house. Sim Guy, good evening. Flying Diggs, good to see you, buddy. Happy Wednesday, man. Where is this now? Flyboy Dyer is in the house. Yankee Spanked, good evening. Fraud Jr., good evening. You're very welcome aboard. Flying Winnebago's in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Lads, it's great to see so many familiar faces, and it's brilliant. The band is back together. Isn't this only brilliant? Now, I'm reminded of the Gumpy episode, Robot Rumpus. Was that a thing? Now let me see. Robert Forsyth. Good to see you. Is it Forsyth? In a box, man. That's you, Robert. Brilliant. Dave Cleary. Legend Dave. Welcome back, Dave. Good to see you. Right, I'll press buttons here, look, will we? Just get on with it, Murphy, will you? Yeah. Now, relax. Oh, Jesus. Ozymandias, good evening. Now, this is all terribly nice. So here we are in Dublin, and we're going to be taking a look at a number of different things this evening. One of them, of course, being the 737-700 with the highly detailed update, or the high detailed update, or whatever they call it, right? We'll be checking that one out now here in a few moments, but we also have a lot of other stuff to get through as well. Now, let me see. I'm pressing buttons, so you don't have to. Now, is this working? Yes. No. Yes. Pause. Why doesn't that work? Wait, if I turn it off like this, and then turn on the gadget. Yes. Oh, that's brilliant. Sometimes my genius, lads. It's absolutely brilliant. Right, we're going to go to the news. And yes, the news. Big shout out to Vasco over at msfsaddons.com and to Callum and the lads over at FS Elite, where we get all our news information from. So we'll start off at the beginning, lads. News this week: Bluebird, the 757, enters stage 2 beta as a Q3 2026 release draws closer. Now, when Bluebird Simulations confirmed a Q3 2026 release window for their Boeing 757 at FS Weekend back in March, it felt like the project had finally turned the corner. Now there's another concrete step to report. The team have entered stage 2 of their 3-stage beta testing process, which is, by their own description, the biggest phase of the entire program. In a Reddit post shared today, the developer confirmed that Stage 2 is now underway and it covers all major aircraft systems except for the EFB, which they say is about 50% complete. It is a significant jump from Stage 1, which began back in October 2025 with a small group of testers focused on specific system groups, and which the developer themselves acknowledged at the time could be considered a late alpha, given how many systems were still incomplete. Stage 2, however, is very much the real thing. According to Bluebird, feedback from testers have been positive so far, and performance across test systems has been reportedly solid. Stage 3, which follows, will be a considerably shorter process focused mainly on the EFB and cosmetic areas of the aircraft. Crucially, Bluebird say a release date announcement will come a few weeks after entering that stage. I'd be fairly confident we'll get a release date announcement probably at FlightSim Expo. Just, the most concrete release timeline signal the team has offered to date for a project that has been in development since 2022 and has seen its share of delays and pivots, including a mid-development pivot from a mid-tier product to a full high-fidelity simulation. Just to give you a bit of background on this project started out, was going to be a fairly light but not arcade kind of a 757, and then it grew legs. And it went from being, it's going to be very good to, no, this is going to be the best. Like some of the communication we're getting from Bluebird is saying this is like top tier high fidelity. It's as real as you're going to get it. It's received an awful lot of hype, an awful lot of, this is going to be brilliant and whatnot. So I suppose we have to kind of wait and see. Like always, there has to be a pinch of caution here from a development team who are new, right? We haven't seen their other products before, and we've seen a couple of trailers. There was one here from Practically Geek, where he goes through what the aircraft is shaping up to be, and I gotta say, it looks impressive. It looks absolutely impressive. But whether or not that's going to be enough for us, considering the quality that's already out there with Phoenix, with iniBuilds, with PMDG, with Black Square. I mean, we got with Just Right. We have so many very high quality developers already. Not to mention Fly by Wire, who bring us that sense of high fidelity for free. Which is important to mention. I'm very excited about this project. It's a 757. I love the aircraft. We do have one over in X-Plane from Flight Factor, which it could do it an L, but they're going to give it an update over there as well. But I'm very excited about this airplane. This, by all accounts, will be released this year. So I'm very, very excited to see what they're going to do here. Shout out as well to Practically Geek. He put together a lovely trailer. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. On the FlightSim 2024 side, well, the situation is the same as previously stated. The initial release will be compatible with 2024. It'll be missing a couple of native features like the exterior interactive panels and walk-around mode. A fully native 2024 build is planned as a free update down the line. And then an Xbox release is also planned, but won't happen simultaneously with the PC version. So it's very much being built for 2020, but it will work just fine within 2024. And then we would expect a 2024 version. An area worth highlighting, of course, is the failure system. Bluebird confirms the initial release will include some failures, and then a more comprehensive system will be coming post-release. The team say that 200 plus circuit breakers modelled into the aircraft were specifically designed with failures in mind, which suggests the groundwork for something fairly deep is already in place. A feature list is promised sometime in June. The latest Navigraph survey, which places the 737 amongst the most anticipated aircraft in the community, is pretty much a reflection of how much goodwill the project has maintained despite the long wait. So we'll have to just wait and see, lads. Very excited to see it. And, well, I'm rooting for them. I want this to be just an amazing release. Everything to go off without a hitch. And we just get some very enjoyable airtime in 757s because they're a beautiful airplane. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, Rhodiumcode, their A350. They're working on their own 350. And the questions here is, can this actually challenge what iniBuilds have done with theirs? And we do have substantial updates from iniBuilds to announce here this evening. The first dev update offers a bit of spotlight into what they're working on. So when Rhodiumcode first surfaced a few weeks ago with a new A350 announcement and a very dark screenshot, well, the reaction from the community was a mix of excitement and also cautious curiosity, with probably another few people going, who cares? A new Airbus for Microsoft FlightSim from a studio no one has heard of, built over 3 years in relative silence. Well, it raised more questions than it answered. Now, with their first proper dev update posted to the Discord, Michael and the team have started filling in some of the blanks. The developer doesn't dress things up. There's a lot of work still ahead. The exterior is behind schedule, the cabin is at 0, and there are no sounds worth mentioning yet. But what the team does have, after 3 years of building from the ground up, is a systems architecture they clearly believe in and a cockpit that's close to finish. So, the majority of those 3 years, Michael says, went into the aircraft systems, avionics and flight model. The autopilot and fly-by-wire have been built from scratch, and also a strong emphasis has been placed on stability, making sure that the add-on won't crash mid-flight as systems interact with each other. For a complex airliner, that's not a trivial thing to get right, and it is encouraging that this was their first main priority, right? So, the cockpit is the strongest part from what they're saying. A screenshot was shared of the cockpit. Update shows a flight deck built to a very high standard. You can kind of see it here, lads, from this picture, right? And then they go on from that. The FCU area shows a characteristic Airbus layout with the EFIS panel and autopilot controls. The lower panel reveals what appears to be a functioning ECAM system, right? And so on. The second close-up screenshot gives us is of the main landing gear. And I'm going to say I kind of like what they've done here. Characteristic four-wheel bogie looking very well modelled and textured. But again, this is kind of early days. So on the exterior, the team say the focus so far has been on the harder structural problems like the landing gear, rigging and animation, wing flex and so on. The cabin hasn't been started yet. The windows in the trailer are blacked out as a result, something Michael addressed directly after spotting community comments hoping otherwise. Sound design also listed as a major area of work still to come. On platform, the A350 is currently running in Microsoft FlightSim 2020 simply because that's what existed when development started. 2024 support is planned before beta testing begins, and the aircraft will be that of the A350-9 with the new style winglets, and of course it will be payware. No pricing or timeline has been given. We'll keep an eye on it. Competition is always healthy, you know, when it comes to aircraft. We've seen that over the years. If you only have one studio making that aircraft, you're kind of stuck. So it's no harm having other options, right? And it'd be interesting to see kind of what way they go with it as well. So, yeah, interesting one to watch for sure. One Fly Air, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Yeah, another alternative to Boeing says excessively salty. Yeah, like, I mean, considering iFly is there, right? So yeah, Commander Freezer, good evening, buddy. So there is a lot of Airbus in the sim. Like, there is an oversaturation of Airbus. However, things will change. You know, we're going to see more and more aircraft come through there. So let's just give it a bit of time. Now, this aircraft released the MI Hoplite, or the MI2 Hoplite. This is something I wanted to fly, but it's not a 2024 version at all. Now, Av Angel flew it. I can't remember if she tried it in 24 or not. But anyway, this is the MI2 Hoplite from Digital Aeronautics. It has released. It's getting a fairly good bit of of praise. They are saying explicitly it's not a 2024 version. And anywhere that I read, it said it's a 2020 version only. There is a bit of a head scratch. I'll probably still pick it up anyway. I just wanted to see and let the dust settle, because from what I read, they said it was 2020 only. One thing I will say, or I'm a little bit confused, they said that a 2024 version it's going to be its own aircraft. So if you buy the 2020 version, it doesn't look like there's an upgrade path to get a 2024 version, unless I've skipped over that somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Meaning that if you buy this in 2020, you're going to have to buy it again in 2024. Yeah. That kind of makes it a little bit tough, just because, I mean, you're buying it for a platform you're no longer using, and like, to be honest, I don't know, lads. Like, I get that devs have spent an awful lot of time in 2020, and now there's a shift into 2024. But like, I just think releasing aircraft first onto 2020, I don't know. I'm not mad on that idea, you know. Tomas says there is an upgrade route for 24 according to the devs Discord. Okay, sweet. So it is working at 24. Perfect. Thank you for the heads up. We will then fly this next week on the news to check it out. I wasn't sure. I just didn't want to grab it because I was thinking, look, if this is 2020 only, I mean, you know, what's the longevity we're going to get out of it? But if it's working away, we'll definitely check it out next week. As I said, the response so far has been very positive. Folks are very impressed with this aircraft, from the sounds, the flight model, the looks of it all. Exciting, to say the least. So we'll have to check it out. Cracker's here. Good to see you, buddy. Now, an aircraft that I absolutely can't wait for. Taog's Hangar, the AS365 Dauphin. It is coming soon to Microsoft FlightSim 2024. They are working on things still. It's not ready for release just yet, but I would expect to see this certainly in the, you know, if I were to put a timeline on it, I would expect to see this aircraft released by kind of maybe July, August. That's my thinking, based on what they have yet to do, and of course what changes with Sim Update 5. So yeah, maybe they could throw them off. But the Dauphin, if you've been following Taog's Hangar for any length of time, you know that they don't rush things out. They've made some of the best helicopter add-ons in Flight Sim. End of story. They just made some of the best. Alouette is probably my favorite. The Huey is right up there as well, as is the Hughes 500. The AS365 Dauphin is also in development, has been so since October of 24. Well, it holds a long history in aviation. You've probably seen these things, of course, with the US Coast Guard. They were operated by the Irish Air Corps. They were operated all over Europe, and different variants and models of them as well. Some had the extended nose, which had a bigger radar. Some had the shorter nose. Some are used in law enforcement, some are used in civilian aviation, and you also had then the HH65 variant of it, which specifically is what the US Coast Guard operating in later years. That's what they were using, and there is a number of differences between both variants. So just a beautiful aircraft. The winch bay, not just decorative, the developer confirming there is a working winch system, given that the screenshot suggests about SAR and military roleplay possibilities. It looks like it's going to be a central experience when this chopper comes out. What's more striking about the Dauphin is how far beyond a standard helicopter release this appears to be. From the Discord updates, the confirmed feature list already stands out from the rest of the category. Night vision goggles are definitely in. They're going to do that. Career mode integration also confirmed, and the cockpit screenshots also suggest there are two distinctive variants. So yeah, I'm highly excited for this one. The Dauphin will be an exclusive release to FlightSim 2024, and that release is going to go through the InSim marketplace, just as it did for the Hughes 500 and OH6A. So yeah. I cannot wait for this. I was talking to Tags on it. I've seen an Irish Air Corps livery, which makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. I've got to fly in these over the years. They're just a beautiful helicopter, but you can kind of see the differences, even if with the nose, right? There's different variants of these choppers. These still fly to this day, which is mad. They're still in operation today. Beautiful, beautiful machine. And yeah, I am so excited for this, man. So excited to see this chopper come to Microsoft Flight Sim. So we have to wait. We don't have a release date. We know they're working on it. And there was an update from just the other day with the developer confirming the project is on track, but without a fixed release date. Model sounds and animations are done. What remains is the final systems work testing. And the main holdup is actually the HH65 variant that they're trying to figure out. And they're working on a manual as well. So hopefully sooner rather than later. But I'm very excited for this one, lads. You know. The Impossible Face says, I need to learn how to fly them proper and set up a HOTAS. Yeah. Lenny Brooks says, I've never flown a helicopter in either 20 or 2024. I should do, really. Yeah, like helicopter flying in the sim. We're doing that actually tomorrow. If anyone's around tomorrow from 1000 Zulu, we're flying choppers tomorrow on the stream. And the idea is just have fun with the rotary aircraft. I mean, they're a class act. They really, really are, you know. With some of these aircraft being stated or started prior to FS 2024's existence, I cannot imagine how frustrating it is for a studio to develop a cycle needing multiple years. Yeah, Mr. Anderson, 100%. Rylan, good to see you. Monty is here. Good evening. Hope you're well. 2020 just got an update, says Tarnish, 764 megabits. That's interesting. Thanks for that, Tarnish. We'll keep an eye out. But yeah, this aircraft, in particular, this aircraft is definitely on my radar. You know, it goes back to my childhood as well, living in Bal. You know, so can't wait. Can't remember if we brushed over this last week. Azure Poly announced the Grumman SF or S2FT tracker. It's an aerial firefighting icon, and it's on the way to Microsoft Flight Sim. Now, Azure Poly, known for tackling aircraft with a story behind them, and of course their latest announcement very much in that spirit. The French developer have just revealed a new project, a Grumman S2F2 tracker. An S2FT tracker, a turboprop converted variant of the iconic tracker that spent decades fighting wildfires across Europe, most notably with the French Civil Protection Service. It's a surprising choice in the best way. The tracker isn't the kind of aircraft you would usually see topping community wish lists, but it has genuinely fascinating history with a strong following among those who know it. Originally a carrier-based anti-submarine aircraft in the 50s, the Grumman S2 tracker had one of those careers that took it far from its original purpose. Beyond its military service, it became one of the most widely used aerial firefighting platforms in the world. Started out as a sub-hunter. Yeah, it's nuts. CAL FIRE, California's Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, operated the S2 T variant as the backbone air tanker for decades, and the type saw similar service across other countries facing the same wildfire challenges. This variant is developed, of course, is the French equivalent, operated by the Sécurité Civile, fitted with Pratt & Whitney Canada PT6 turboprop engines in place of the original piston power plants, and the upgrade gave the aircraft a meaningful boost on reliability and performance. Interestingly, a hobbyist project targeting the S2 F3 AT turbo tracker surfaced some years ago, but it never really materialized, making this Azure Poly announcement the first serious attempt to bring this aircraft type to the sim. What stands out beyond the aircraft is how Azure Poly is approaching the research side. The team say they're working with SOS Tracker 7, a small association of former firefighters who rescued one of these aircraft from being scrapped and have it preserved in France. For Azure Poly, having access to the real airframe is a recurring part of their development process, and it does show the detailed work of the releases. The clay renders shared with the announcement, while still very early on, do suggest that there's a level of care. The exterior geometry looks accurate, and the interior passageway shot offers a glimpse of the kind of detailed fuselage we can expect. No release window yet, but yeah, Azure Poly, I'm a huge fan of that studio. They've brought us some incredible aircraft, and this thing looks absolutely class. Am I right in saying the S2, wasn't this capable of AWACS? Didn't you see some of these on the carrier with like a big friggin' satellite dish up there? Or am I absolutely raving? Kieran Niall, good to see you, buddy. No news yet, buddy. No news yet. Ryland is you're in Flight Sim right now? Good man. 2 turbo trackers currently flying in France on civilian register, says Nick. Ooh, nice. Interesting stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool looking, and yeah, looking forward to this. Azure Poly, they just make gorgeous aircraft. That C-160, I mean, come on out of that, will you? Anyway, Airsoft and Tolus have updated their A340-600. It's up to version 1.0.2, and they've added SayIntentions CPDLC and hardware FCU support. Murph, you mean the Grumman E1? Ah, the E1. All right. The Tracer. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The Airsoft A340 continues to move quickly through its post-launch phase. Version 1.02 just arrived following the first update in late March. This one expands the aircraft hardware integration options while also tidying up some of the data link and replay behavior. And the headliner, of course, features SayIntentions CPDLC support for those using SayIntentions as their ATC solution. Well, the CPDLC, the data link system that lets pilots exchange ATC instructions via text rather than voice, can now be handled natively through the aircraft's DCDU. Speaking of which, the DCDU itself also gets real-world accuracy fix. A fifth line has been added to match the actual configuration, one of those details that's easy to overlook. Hardware users also get two useful additions. There's now an LVAR to inhibit rotary acceleration, which means if you're using a physical FCU with encoders that don't respond well to the default sensitivity settings, Airsoft have also added data output for hardware MCDUs via their own interface. On the SimBrief side, there's also two changes worth noting. You can now opt out of populating the initb page during import, giving more control over what gets filled automatically. Rounding out the new features is the LVAR for external replay tools to freeze system modeling, which should help third-party replay utilities interact better and more predictably. Bro, good evening, buddy. We also got a couple of fixes, and the main ones coming out is a correction for the loss of manual flex on the engine failure during flex takeoff, an edge case that rarely comes up but does need to be handled correctly. FCU freeze buttons or button freezes after replay has also been addressed, and also the chart download delays for new airports in the Navigraph EFB have been improved. So, great stuff to see the aircraft getting an update, version 1.02. And it's a great machine. Now, the default Caravan EX gets a proper audio overhaul. We're checking this one out tonight, lads, to give you a listen. The work done here is from Echo-19. Now, Tyler from Echo-19, he's working with a number of developers on their main releases, but he also has his own products, his own standalone products available to pick up as well. And I gotta say, these really do transform default aircraft. They transform any aircraft, but when you look at kind of like the default Asobo fleet, these are very, very good. It goes beyond just, the engine sounds. I mean, you're talking buttons, gyro, avionics, battery, lights, strobes. You can hear all this stuff. And he also includes a number of different liveries as well. So, with this particular project, which is cool, because I remember Tyler sending me photographs, standing around various Grand Caravans, and he was able to record so much data. Like, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, he partnered with Mission Aviation Fellowship, or MAF, and recorded the real Grand Caravan EX on location using more than 12 microphones, covering the cockpit, the cabin, and the exterior from every angle across every phase of flight. The PT6 engine audio is a complete replacement from cold and dark startup all the way through to spool up, taxi, takeoff and shutdown. The propeller work runs in true ambisonic 3D surround inside the cockpit, with the prop tone shifting dynamically as you line up, roll out and lift off, something that the default Asobo model gets nowhere near. Outside, there's a full 360-degree exterior reconstruction with flyby sounds and distinct engine ambience, which does make a real difference. So we're going to be checking this one out tonight, lads. And I fired it up earlier on to have a quick listen, and I was like, this is amazing. Now, if you're thinking, is this going to be compatible or not? No. This is not compatible with the Black Square Caravan. This has been specifically built for the default Asobo one. So if you're on the Black Square, you already have good sounds with the Black Square one. They've done a great job there. But if you still like using the default Asobo aircraft, which many people are using, this is going to be a great option for you. It ships with 9 new liveries created by Reese Brown, and including 2 MAF schemes. And we also get some with cargo variants such as FedEx and DHL. Pretty cool. Absolutely pretty cool. The pack is available to buy. You can pick it up for about $15-ish, right? But we're going to be checking this one out on the live stream tonight. So moving on, we have updates here from iniBuilds, and they've been flat out busy, in particular when it comes to the A350 and the A340. Their A350 is updated to version 1.2.5, focusing on refinements, system accuracy, and overall stability. And one of the biggest ones here, it was an emphasis on WASM performance. Following extensive testing, the team have implemented a range of under-the-hood optimizations to memory handling, data efficiency, and system robustness within the Microsoft FlightSim WASM environment. This results in smoother operation and more reliable behavior, particularly during some of those high-load scenarios. Do you know? Static Dash, thank you for the follow. So alongside the core improvements, the update also delivers a comprehensive set of fixes across key aircraft systems, addressing things such as the FMGS logic, the flight guidance behavior, navigation predictions, and also your MCDU functionality. Additional updates span across the EFB, the sounds, the aircraft model itself, and resolving issues with the en route mapping, missing alerts, and various animation and visual discrepancies, helping ensure a more polished and consistent experience. The main news here, lads, is awesome because it's the WASM stability. I think anyone who's having issues with these aircraft, it tend to point the finger back. Yeah, I had a WASM crash. This is what's awesome. iniBuilds have done considerable work here. Strong focus on improving the overall WASM stability. Now, WASM it's a web assembly. Think of this as like a sandbox, a virtual sandbox, right? That developers can build their aircraft inside for it to work inside Microsoft FlightSim's ecosystem. Right? That's what WASM is, effectively. They can build it. Once it stays inside WASM, it's good. What happens is when developers make stuff and it goes outside of that WASM little sandbox, well, then WASM crashes. And because the sim is still running, but the module crashes, well, the answer of the sim is, okay, there's been an aircraft failure. We won't crash it out of the simulator. You need to get landed and then restart. That's the idea behind it. So there's both sides on it. Either not clear enough instruction to a lot of third-party developers, or they're just trying to put too much into it. I don't know. Do you know? Echo Tyler, good to see you. Echo Tyler, Echo-19 Tyler. Tyler, good evening. We're checking out your stuff here now in a moment. So great news here. The WASM performance and memory handling by reducing unnecessary data copying in systems, lowering transient memory usage, and improving overall efficiency within that WASM environment. They also refine data access patterns to reduce unnecessary temporary copies, helping lower stack pressure and improve runtime consistency, particularly during high load scenarios. And they added additional safety checks across critical memory pathways to guard against invalid states. So it's been a huge update. So make sure you grab this update over on the ini manager, and it's for the A350 airliner. But wait, that's not all. The same WASM fixes have also been applied to their A340. This now being updated to version 1.0.11, bringing a strong focus on overall stability, just like the A350. Also with WASM improvements, just like the A350. And then the rest of it, a range of targeted fixes, primarily on the systems front of the aircraft. The update addresses several items in relation to system level issues, including corrections to the flight deck indications, trim and hydraulic logic, navigation behavior, and MCDU interactions. Along with that, of course, we have the massive WASM update. So again, another huge update from iniBuilds. You'll find it in your ini manager. And if you have the aircraft on the marketplace, you can pick it up through there as well. You know, so it's great. Jim, thank you very much indeed for the follow. The Impossible Face says, I'm after a 340 and I'm relatively new to them. Which one would I go for? But both variants offer you something a little bit different. My personal preference, I think iniBuilds A340 is, to me, that's one of the best aircraft releases. Now, I say this, and I'm still learning the TriStar, but I've really enjoyed the A340 because it's a very rounded package. You have your passenger, you have your Praetor variants, and it just works very well. Tons of liveries. On the other side of it, the Tolus and Airsoft one, it's still quite kind of young in its release cycle. They are doing a couple of updates here and there. Very capable aircraft. Very, very capable aircraft. You get the CRT screens as an option. Yeah, like iniBuilds give you a lot more options. You can throw in the old CRT screens rather than LCT or LCD. So you have a couple of options there for sure, you know. PS Miranda says, I would like this A350, but I was so frustrated with the pop-up panels in the A340, I kind of lost the motivation to buy again. What was up with the pop-up panels? Haven't had any issues with the Ini340. I love it. Yeah, it's a great machine. It's a great machine. I put this down as one of the finest, you know. Moving on, also an update for their TriStar, and a couple of fixes on this one. Introducing fuel jettison, an en route map path display, or an en route map path display, dynamic fuel on the PMS pages, and several PFB quality of life additions, including map dragging, a sync button for the landing performance calculator, and also a rudder tiller toggle option, and a couple of bug fixes there as well. The TriStar, the L1011. I don't know this aircraft enough yet. We've had one stream. We'll do another one next week. The stream that we spent on it, it's amazing when you can reference a real world operating manual and you come back into the simulator and the sim is doing exactly what that manual said it should do. This is a high fidelity aircraft. Highly accurate, high fidelity, and it's something that, you know, if you really want to get your teeth into a new add-on and understanding the systems that Lockheed put in there, this is incredible. So this also got an update from iniBuilds as well, so do be sure to check it out. OG's is a Scotian. Welcome in, buddy. Thank you very much. What about the TFDI MD11? So the MD11 is still very much there. It's not to be forgotten about. That is a solid aircraft. It got a great release update, or a great update, you know, that's a while ago now, good few weeks ago, but they're still planning more and more for that aircraft. The MD11, in terms of a tri-jet, I've spent a lot of time in that, man. We took it across the pond, we had a lot of fun with it, but I'm loving learning the TriStar as well. Like, we have two excellent options. We actually have three very good options, but we have two excellent options for the tri-jets, and that would be the L1011 and also the MD11. So yeah, we're definitely spending more time in the L1011, and we'll revisit the MD11 for sure. It's a great airplane, it really is. So great stuff there. Now we'll take a quick ramble over to FlightSimTees.com, and the reason being is, well, I used to always have a little merch icon on the website for anyone who wanted to pick up the stuff. You don't have to. There's never been a reason for you to have to buy, you know, our merch when it comes to the community. However, I was never entirely happy with the quality. And you know, I struggled for ages and ages thinking, Jesus, between trying and finding sizes that would be correct, quality that lasts on for ages, and so on and so on. It just became a pain in the ass. Anyway, since Gibbo has started up FlightSimTees.com, and he's done incredible things here, and it's just great to see, you know, someone in our community able to push forward. And here's an idea. He's very passionate about it, and what kind of makes all this work, it's so good. Like, the gear is so good, right? Anyone who's bought it, from FlightSimTees.com, you know the story. It's good quality gear, right? But anyway, in addition to the t-shirt, the hoodies, and the zuddies, and I've been showing off a couple of caps. Gibbo sent me down 2 hats that I've been showing off. Here's one here with the custom call sign. You can get a custom aircraft put up there. They're all available to order right now, right? We've just added a partnership, collaborations, you can see it here, where merch for our stuff, t-shirts and whatnot, we're starting very small, but like, the idea being is, if you want to buy our community merch, be it, you know, TTM logo or some of the designs that we do, well, that's going to be available over on FlightSimTees.com. And the reason being is because the quality that Gibbo has is just better. It's just better quality. End of story. It's way better. You know, I'm wearing the gear. That'll tell you, right? So currently for sale at the moment, and again, there's absolutely no obligation here. If anyone does want to buy stuff, use that code above. Save yourself 10%. 10%. Saving money is always a good thing. We do have the Bremen t-shirt. This is a limited edition, and the reason being is, well, it's for the Bremen flight that we've done this year. That's available to purchase right now, and then we also have the standard, just a two-tone Murphy t-shirt. Bog standard, it's just the logo on a tee, but it's exclusive to our community. This is our stuff. This is our gear. So if you want to grab them, you'll find them over on FlightSim Tees. I'll update our own website with links and all this, and we'll be adding more products to it. But folks had asked, and well, here is a solution. And yeah, see how we get on with it, and don't forget, use that code above. It gives you a discount, 10% discount. Saving money is not a bad idea at all, lads. So yeah, massive shout out to FlightSim Tees. Gibbo, as I said, is doing a great job, and he'd be flat out behind the scenes. Good news with these as well, you can also pick the GTM stuff in white or with black. So you have a couple of options there. That just doesn't update, but you can get these in a white or black t-shirt as well. But not only that, have a look at the rest of the brand items that Gibbo has. You know, we've looked at these before, but he's got some amazing t-shirts, amazing hoodies, and well, there's a lot more on the way. And again, you want to be checking these out because he changes them up. He changes them up every so often, so you'd be missing them. You'd be like, ah, Jesus, right? And I have to say, he spends a fortune on the models trying the gear on. I mean, there's Simon, right, drinking, he loved it, right? But yeah, it's just class. So yeah, massive shout out to Gibbo, and best of luck with it as always. And if you want to grab yourself some merch, if you want to grab yourself some TTM merch, well, you'll find it over on the FlightSimTees.com website. Excellent. Now, moving on. AzurSim released Jeddah, King Abdullah's Oscar Echo Juliet November for FlightSim 2024, and there's also a city bundle pack too. Now, for anyone who's tried to fly into Jeddah in the sim, well, they pretty much came away frustrated what was on offer. Well, here's one for you, perhaps. AzurSim have released its rendition of the airport, Oscar Echo Juliet November for Microsoft Flight Sim. It's available now through the iniBuilds store. It's not a minor hub, it's a huge international airport in Saudi Arabia, serving not only regular commercial traffic, but also acting as the primary entry point for millions. The AzurSim, not a new name in this part of the world. The developer has produced multiple Saudi Arabian airports over the years, most notably Oscar Echo Romeo Kilo, which built up a substantial following. Now, for this airport, the developer says the scenery covers a highly detailed recreation of the airport layout, updated for modern operations, accurate terminal buildings, accurate terminal, realistic ground textures with custom markings and weathering. PBR materials throughout, custom night lighting and performance optimization native to FlightSim 2024. Alongside that, they've also released a separate Jeddah landmarks pack covering the city skyline from along the Red Sea coast. With the developer saying it includes detailed recreations of structures such as the Jeddah Corniche, is it, and the Kingdom Tower. So the pricing of the airport, get this, is €29.97. And then the landmarks pack is an additional €10. So you're close on $40 here. Now, this is kind of the reality. I mean, look, we're all for anything new coming into the sim is going to be a good thing. People need choice. It's always great to see your local airport and whatnot get love and all this sort of stuff. But I think when the price goes to a certain point, that now kind of opens up the door to a lot more scrutiny. And I cannot speak for myself on this because I haven't tried this scenery. I haven't used it myself. However, I have seen it being used by other content creators, and well, the reception hasn't been great. Certain elements of it are very, very nice, but some of them not up to scratch at all. So I would have to wait and see. I'll probably pick this one up and I'll do my due diligence and give it a good run for its money. Maybe there's going to be some updates because there are a couple of areas we're missing, kind of critical areas we're missing when it came to taxiways and some of this. So yeah, it's definitely on the higher end of pricing. We've looked at scenery developers before who will either just do an airport or they'll do landmarks. So it's kind of cool that AzurSim can do both. But it just kind of pushes it into a price area that it's fine, but it's going to demand or it's going to encourage more scrutiny. At that price point, you don't want any sort of issue whatsoever, I would think. You know what I mean? So yeah. Also, from what I heard, the scenery runs notoriously bad, says DeBlaze. I've heard the same. It isn't good as it appealed. Or it isn't as good as it appealed, according to James Fuller. Heard nothing but criticism, way overpriced for what it's worth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say it's good, bad, or indifferent. Looking at it, it looks very good. I can straight away say it's definitely on the upper end of the cost. And I am aware that some people aren't happy with it overall. And it's because it's at that price point. That's the point I'm making. It's not to say the developer did a bad job or a good job. That doesn't even come into it. It's the pricing of this. That's why people might feel a little bit kind of taken back from it. But we'll have a look at the trailer and see what you think of it as we kind of run her on here. Now, there is no doubt, I mean, from the trailer we're watching, this does look absolutely phenomenally good. It just does. From the trailer perspective, this looks so highly detailed. There's beautiful models here. You know, the buildings, the textures on the ground, the markings, everything here looks on point. It looks fantastic. Again, I think the biggest sticking point here isn't necessarily, you know, a whinge and a moan about the quality of the add-on. It's the price of the add-on. And, you know, a very strong point to make. This pricing point, you are at that level of aircraft. I mean, that's the reality. You can buy aircraft for the same price. One thing, though, that is very good, and iniBuilds are the publisher behind this. When we spoke to Ubaid at FS Weekend, don't forget, lads, iniBuilds do kind of multi-annual sales. Massive sales. So perhaps this may not be something that's on your radar right now when you're looking at around kind of, you know, $36 US plus an extra $12 if you want the landmarks. This could be something, you know, this could be something you'd look at maybe if there's a sale. It is important to note as well, if you do want to buy the airport and the landmarks, you can use a certain code. It's here on the screen. That'll save you about £4 off it. So, yeah, look, I think for anyone who wants to fly to this region, it's a no-brainer. I mean, look, you're going to grab it. Whether or not you want the landmarks, that's anyone's choice, but you're definitely going to want to fly with like the best quality you can get from here. But I think the pricing point is, that's where the story is, I think, from this. It's not to take away from the development. It's not to take away from the work that's gone into it. I just think, you know, in this consumer world, we're looking at this and we're thinking, Jesus, that's a €30 scenery. That's up there, lads. $30 for like, that's, you know, 30 quid. When sceneries first started coming out from Microsoft Flight Sim, they were like a tenner. Then they started going like to 15. Then they became 20. Then we're seeing 25. 20 to 25 is kind of the norm for these kind of big airports. Now we're seeing 30 and an extra tenner for landmarks. It's like, put it back there now a little bit. You know, I think that's where the issue is. But anyway, I'll have to pick this up to check it out. It looks great. I mean, from the trailer perspective, this looks like a fascinating airport to go explore in. But yeah, be interesting. Shadow Mage, good to see you. Hope that you plan to fly in and out of Jeddah constantly for the next 6 months. Well, that's the thing as well. I mean, if you're going to be flying in this region quite a bit, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? I mean, yeah, I'm always flying there. Maybe you're using this as a cargo hub, or you're doing rotations there in the sim. You know what I mean? But it's great to see it released. It's great to see the developer kind of bring this level of quality. But there seems to be a bit of a mismatch rather with the pricing. I have to check it out. I can't say it's good or it's bad until I check it out, and I'll be happy to check it out. I'll pick it up there during the week. Turner says if it was 20 or 25, probably sell more. Yeah, I think so. There is a big VATSIM event next month. Yeah, so it could be smart as well, saying, look, there's a big VATSIM event. This is going to be a key airport. Now's the time to grab it. Who knows? Who knows? If this was like an airport like Heathrow where I live, then I definitely would. But for once or twice visits a month, then no. Again, that comes down to who the target audience is. You know, if there's a lot of, you know, simmers who fly in this region, this is going to make total sense to them, you know? They're going to look at this and say, yeah, we've been waiting for this for ages. This is a must-have, must grab it. And I think they're going to be happy out, right? As I said, from the trailer alone, it looks incredible. And that night lighting, beautiful, absolutely beautiful night lighting. So yeah, we'll have to give it a blast and see what happens, you know. Zybok is here. Good to see you, Zybok. Welcome aboard. Now, moving on, news from Orbex. 41 Charlie Alpha Silver Creek Ranch brings a demanding Californian backcountry strip into the world of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. It is, without doubt, one of the sim's most interesting niches, and a brand new release from the Attic Flyer Studio adds another worthwhile entry to the list of backcountry airstrips. 41 Charlie Alpha Silver Creek Ranch is now available on Orbex Direct. And it's a pretty different proposition compared to the airstrips we have seen previously. South in the South Fork Trinity River Valley in Northern California, it's not a gentle introduction to backcountry. The approach leaves very little room for correction, with a 1,600-foot grass runway tucked right into a tight valley. It's the kind of strip where energy management and situational awareness matter before you even see the threshold. The scenery itself centers on what the developer calls Silver Creek Ranch, a detailed ranch environment along the Trinity River, featuring rustic cabins, campfire areas, and also surrounding terrain modelled on what Orbex describes as handcrafted PBR quality. We'll go ahead and check out the trailer here. Can't play the music, unfortunately, but we'll do one of these and have a listen and see what happens, lads.
Wouldn't lie to you, doesn't matter what I do.
What a song to play.
She's got a hold on me. She knows how to drive a truck, but she lets me pick her up when we're going dancing. My heart stops beating when my headlights shining on her. She's my country girl. I couldn't tell you what she's doing with me. She's so damn out of my league. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes, and I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country.
Very, very pretty scenery, and I have to say that was hilarious. Old Redman's like, cut again. I tried to scroll Murphy's screen. Did you try to scroll down on this screen, Scott? Jesus, that won't work, Scott. Brilliant. But anyway, this looks really, really nice. Beautiful setting. And for California backcountry simmers, Orbex also offering a California airstrip bundle that pairs this airport with other regional strips at a combined saving through individual pricing. Comes in at around €10 each. You can buy this right now over on Orbex. But yeah, it's pretty cool looking. I got to say, it's a beautiful setting. And it is a very different type of flying. I mean, you know, you transition from the airliners to this, it's night and day in the difference, you know, is the L backcountry. So it's pretty cool. So great to see that. Now, 123 Flight Sound automates cabin audio in Microsoft Flight Sim with full flight phase detection. Getting the cabin atmosphere right in Flight Simulator can be an important aspect of the experience for many simmers, but it's easy to get into a situation where you load your flight and you remember to trigger the boarding music, then you forget the safety announcement, and by the time you're at cruise, the immersion you were going for, well, it's gone. That's the problem independent developer Stefan Simons set out to solve with 123 Flight Sound, a free cabin sound utility for Microsoft Flight Sim, and version 3.0 just released a few days ago. The headline edition is a SimConnect based autoplay system that reads live flight data directly from your sim once per second and uses it to determine which of the 6 flight phases you're currently in. Are you parked at the gate? Are you taxiing out, cruise, descent, rollout, and then parked arrival? Each transition triggers the corresponding cabin audio automatically, from boarding music at the gate through to the arrival announcements. I wanted to create a tool where you just start it, load your flight, and forget about it, Simon says. Version 3 finally delivers that experience. There's some thoughtful logic on how the detection work. Phases only advance forward, so a brief drop in airspeed on climb won't accidentally reset the sequence, and the system filters out unstable sensor readings to prevent false triggers. On the audio side, announcements are structured around language-based packs rather than the airline-specific ones, meaning that they work across any livery or aircraft type. Custom sounds can also be loaded via the soundboard, and a knob-style mixer lets you balance cabin audio against the engine sounds. One current limitation worth knowing, the tool does not work well in VR, where it renders as a separate window outside the headset. They have acknowledged this and are hoping a fix will be coming very soon. It works with both 2020 and 2024, and it has a 0 FPS impact. Since its initial release, it's already passed 1,200 downloads. It's available over on FlightSim.to. Universal announcer, yeah, absolutely there. And if you're using the likes of SayIntentions, they handle cabin announcements, customized cabin announcements very, very well also. So we have a lot of options here, you know. Walk mode in the lift would be amazing, says Briggsy. Yeah, 100%. Sprockets, hope you're well, buddy. Any Vision, welcome in. Hope you're keeping well. Parallel 42 addresses SimFX for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. It's not about what's possible, it's about quality. This is an interesting one. So the recent release of TriTriSim's GFX airliner has done something interesting. It has reignited the conversation around Parallel 42's SimFX and why it hasn't made the jump into Flight Sim 2024. Parallel 42's managing director, Edson, has now put out a statement specifically to address this and the nuance it is worth considering. Now, we're going to be having a look at the TriTriSim product tonight, but I thought this was an interesting story. The developer is clear on one point. The absence of SimFX and the immersion packs from 2024, it's not a question of whether visual effects are possible in the new Sim. It's not that visual effects in 2024 aren't possible. We never said that, said Edson. The issue, they say, is that the limitation of 2024 prevent them from meeting their own quality bar. SimFX, as Parallel 42 describes it, a global visual effects utility, works generically across most aircraft without needing aircraft-specific updates or indeed user input, in handling things like the engine heat, contrails, touchdown smoke and auroras. The immersion packs then build on top of that foundation with airframe-specific effects, getting both to work in 2024 the way they did in 2020, the developer says would require techniques that are intrusive by nature and high maintenance, and in some cases would involve shipping third-party intellectual property in the form of behavior files that Parallel 42 don't own. Even if they pursued a scaled-back version, Parallel 42 say it would be a significant departure from the full experience that SimFX and immersion packs deliver, missing out on many of the effects that make the combo so special. Their position, simply put, is that a compromised SimFX isn't something they're willing to ship. The story up to now, including in our own coverage back in May, was that Parallel 42 had hit a wall with the 2024 architecture and it was starting to explore additional options. The new statement doesn't contradict this, but it does sharpen the message. The bar they're measuring against their own SimFX in 2020 and 2024 currently can't clear it. None of that diminishes what TriTriSim have built with GFX. The two products are taking different approaches, and GFX is very much its own thing. Parallel 42 remain active in 2024 with other products. SimFX and the immersion packs for now stay on 2020. It's an interesting kind of thing because I mean, Edson letting us know, listen, if we were to do it, the only way we can make it work that we want in terms of our own quality control, we would have to kind of make it ship with all sorts of stuff in order to get it there. And we don't want to do that, which is fair enough. Are they saying perhaps this is the way that TriTriSim have gone? I couldn't tell you. But it's definitely interesting. I, for one, loved the SimFX immersion packs. I thought they added something really cool to 2020. Are they needed as much in 24? Kinda, sorta. But it's a hard one. You know, it's a hard one to kind of explain. But it was good to get insight from Parallel 42 on this, because there's no doubt that TriTriSim's GFX airliner is a kind of direct competitor to the same kind of niche that Parallel 42 were going with. Regardless of, you know, its capabilities, the idea of bringing visual effects to your sim in terms of contrails, you know, heat blurs, vortices around the wings, this kind of stuff. But yeah, we're going to be checking it out tonight to see what it's all about for sure. Cyber Dammy, good to see you. Default AI traffic in FlightSim 2024 gets a serious upgrade with 1,000+ real airline liveries. This is a new product. Default AI traffic in FlightSim 24, it's always felt a little bit thin, and the aircraft are there, and Asobo does include a selection of liveries, but the variety runs out quickly. You load into most airports, and you can see the same handful of airlines cycling through. Willow, how much? Thank you very much indeed. Andy64, welcome in, buddy. Willow, thank you for the bits, buddy. You load into most airports and you see the same handful of airlines cycling around, with little sense of regional mix that you'd expect in the real world. Bravo Airspace is looking to address that with ATG Airline Traffic Global. It's available now on the official marketplace for about €20. The package adds about 1,000 liveries from more than 160 airliners to the simulator's default AI traffic models. No external app, no injector, no subscription. You install it through the marketplace and the airlines show up. The timing is also worth noting. With the recent end of FSLTL's live traffic data services, it's prompted some PC users to take a fresh look at what the simulator offers out of the box. The default traffic has been part of that conversation. ATG doesn't replace FSLTL or fill the same role, but it does promise to make the default experience considerably more convincing. Now, the head scratching on this is, if you were to use the default built-in sim AI traffic, it's not very good. They 5 or 6 of them appear on the runway at the same time. There's no scheduling. There's no interaction properly with ATC. It's rough, to say the least. Now, it does track, you know, Microsoft do have their own data being injected in there, and it's costly. And they will do ADBS or ADSB tracking with that. FSLTL, they're going to be dropping their ADSB tracking, right? You know, you can still use their models as a traffic modeling source, right? But in terms of injection, FSLTL won't really be able to handle that. It'll be able to do static aircraft, so that'll be correct-ish aircraft in the different regions you fly to. But in terms of them moving around and flying around, you're not going to see that. I think where this product probably fits in a little bit better is the fact that it's on marketplace. This could be aimed very much so at the Xbox pilots, because for Xbox, well, you don't have a lot of options of getting kind of this sort of a solution in play. So PC users, there are now, you know, there's multiple third-party traffic tools to consider. For Xbox, well, it's very different. Bravo Airspace built and tested this package on Xbox, and the results based on the screenshots they've shared do show a more convincing mix of airliners in the sky. It's using Microsoft's data, but it's using these new models, which is a huge update for Xbox. If you're on the PC, you already have the models from FSLTL. You can use IVEO models. You can use Just Flight models. And then when it comes to traffic injection, where FSTL did a lot on AIG, you still have traffic injection options available outside of those, which is, you know, you have multiple options. You can use real traffic with PSXT. SayIntentions have a phenomenal traffic injector system, and there's others to note as well. If you want AI traffic, you know what I mean? So a few things to be aware of. It works on top of the simulator's real-time online traffic, so it provides the visual layer rather than generating its own schedules. You'll still want real traffic online enabled in the sim settings, and the developers recommend spending a normal amount of time at airports rather than jumping between different locations, as the live traffic system has to populate over time. You know, so it's not new models, Murph. It's really just a big livery pack. It's 1,000 liveries they've added, correct? Yeah, correct. There's 160 airlines with liveries. So it puts these on top of the simulator's default AI traffic models. Correct and right, Malky. Now, if this is a 2020 thing, you'd be pulling your hair out because the models that they had, the default models, were woefully bad. They have gotten an awful lot better in 2024. So yeah, I don't know. It's you now have livery options, which, for, as I said, on the Xbox, this is a good idea. But I think for having that sort of AI aircraft tracking or injecting traffic into your sim, I think the base sim one still has a way to go. You know, the stock models for 24 are really good. Yeah. They're awesome. Real traffic works with X-Plane, OpenSky. Oh, really, Roy? Interesting. Yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, something awesome there. FlightSim Expo, this was all released over the last few days. 60 plus exhibitors, with Thrustmaster promising a civilian flight sim comeback. So 6 weeks before the doors open at St. Paul, FlightSim Expo has revealed its first confirmed exhibitor list. More than 60 partners are now locked in for June 12th to 14th, spanning hardware manufacturers, software developers, real-world aviation training providers, and also community groups. We already knew that Microsoft Flight Simulator was attending, confirmed in the April developer livestream, and the wider exhibitor picture now fills in around that anchor. Perhaps the most interesting signal is the entire press release from Tim Gorham, which is Thrustmaster North American marketing director. He describes FS Expo 2026 as the company's biggest booth yet, and adds that after a few years of expanding into space and combat sim, this year's presence is all about civilian flight sim. The company say attendees will be able to try multiple cockpits, including dual command stations that allows two pilots fly together. This is potentially huge from Thrustmaster. They could have a brand new product lineup here. The hardware floor beyond Thrustmaster, the hardware presence, well, it's big. Expect the usual. We're going to see Honeycomb, Virtual Fly, and also we're going to see Wing Control. Of course, they'll be there. Rosefire, Doff Reality, Octavi, Pimax, they've all signed up to this. Interesting, we don't see Moza at this. Software and community list, the ecosystem, Navigraph confirmed, Fly-by-Wire, SayIntentions having a big deal at this. Aerosoft, MK Studios, Soulfly, and Grinelli designs, amongst others. Combat Sim getting a huge space, and Wing Control have also said will also have a large DCS presence at their booth, and FlightSim 2026 or FlightSim Expo 26 will introduce a combat arena presented by Grinelli Design, where attendees can compete in aviation-inspired contests. That's pretty cool. So the Parallel 42 Exhibitor Lounge returns for exhibitors. Managing Director Edson said the space is for developers to take a break, grab a coffee, and connect away from the main floor. Tickets and timing. Tickets go up on the 1st of May, so if you're considering attending the show, the full exhibitor list is available over on their website, flightsimexpo.com/partners. Exhibitor registration is open up until May 29th. There is a very good video of it here, and easy now, Murph. There's a great video of it here over on FS Elite. I'll share that in the chat. It's well worth a look. Callum and when we go there, Callum and Evan take us for an out spin around, and they're talking about all the different exhibits that's going to be there, or exhibitors that's going to be there. But they also give us a look of. They also give us a look of what the whole region, the whole area is going to look like. Grizzle, thank you very much indeed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Grizzle, thank you very, very much indeed for the raid, buddy. I hope you're well. Hope you had a great stream.
Allow myself to introduce
Myself. it's younger looking you're getting, do you know? Thank you very, very much indeed, buddy. Hope you're well. And a very warm welcome in, guys. Joe Hoshi, thank you for the follow. Minecraft Slayer, thank you for the follow. Good to see you, lads. Fun one today. Sweet, man. Awesome. I did be lurking the whole time, Grizzle. You know, it's just, I don't want to put you off with my outstanding egetry. You know, but yeah, I'd be lurking there the whole time, buddy. You're absolutely smashing it. I'm loving it. And even did a bit of racing yesterday, I think. So yeah, great to see you, and thank you very, very much indeed for the raid. Caleb is here. Grizzle, would you ever go to a FlightSim Expo? It's far away from you, I know, but would you go? Think of the crack we'd have, you know. Evan has a good choice in t-shirts at the end. He does. Evan wearing a beautiful t-shirt at the end, showing off the FlightSim Tees t-shirt. Deadly, isn't it? Absolutely deadly. But anyway, very exciting stuff when it comes to FlightSim Expo. It's only a couple of weeks away, and yeah, looking forward to that event for sure. Now, FlightSim Weekend. There's a bit of drama here. He's ready. Grab your popcorn. FlightSim Weekend announced a new location. There's a brand new venue for 2027. FS Weekend is on the cards for next year, says Grizzle. Nice. So here's one. Yeah, there's drama here, right? James Fuller, good to see you, James. Hope you're well, buddy. And yeah, there's a bit of drama, right? So FlightSim Weekend, as we know it, they're moving it from the Aviodrome, and they're going to Utrecht, right? However, there's a bit of head scratching. Wait till you hear this, right? There's a wrinkle here worth mentioning. According to the organisers, the former host venue, which is the Aviodrome, well, they're planning their own FlightSim event in March 2027 without involvement from the FlightSim Weekend Foundation. Now, the FlightSim Weekend Foundation is Jan and the lads, and they did the FlightSim Awards and everything that we know of. The Aviodrome were like, we're doing our own. Huh? And get this, the organisers are clear that this is not the official FS Weekend, and that the FS Weekend name and brand are subject to a formal legal dispute. So someone peed in someone's coffee, and someone gave someone a slap in the back of the head, and right. So as it stands right now, FlightSim Weekend, right, as they're calling it, FlightSim Weekend 2027 is going to be held at Expo Houten, which is just outside of Utrecht in the Netherlands, right? And that's a significant step up. It's a large venue, over 3,000 square meters. Now, when you say it's a large venue and numbers of how many people can fit in or fit out of the building, I think, you know, a bit of a complaint was this year at the Aviodrome, it was so busy. As in, it was too busy. And bearing in mind, there was add-on buildings put in place for that, with iniBuilds having their own facility in there as well. It was just too busy. There wasn't enough catering. You know, not enough toilets. It was just busy. So, what FlightSim Weekend are saying, right, we're going to move it to a new venue now. And this is a purpose-built event centre, meaning that we shouldn't have these same sort of headaches when it comes to getting our, you know, exhibitors in place, given the equipment that they need, access to catering, access to toilets and all this kind of stuff and whatnot. Okay, that's the first part of the jigsaw. So that's what they want to do. However, those in the Aviodrome are, well, no, we're doing our own FS Week. You can go where you like, but we're doing our thing. So where you have FlightSim Weekend saying it's going to take place on the 3rd and 4th of April, right? Well, you have the Aviodrome saying, well, we're going to have our own event and it's going to be on in March. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, if you live in the Netherlands, you're laughing, you now have two events. But like, I don't know. A lot of people had said they were quite happy that it's always in the same venue year in and year out. For a lot of reasons. It's easy in terms of their logistics. They know exactly where they're going, all of that. But then the other side of the conversation, you have people saying, oh, we're going back to the same venue. They want change. You look at FS Expo, they move it around a bit. And, you know, for people traveling, it's a great excuse, because when we get to go to places ordinarily, we never even think about going, right? I mean, Minneapolis and St. Paul, I'm actually so looking forward to going there. If you were to ask me last year, before we knew we were going there, I'd be, wait, where? Where's that? What did they do? Is it nice? You wouldn't have a clue, right? So the idea of moving things around, now it's still in the Netherlands. Continental Europe is friggin' massive, so they're still keeping it inside the Netherlands. Maybe the scope later on for, maybe it goes into Germany, or, well, there is kind of stuff in Germany anyway with Airsoft, but maybe it goes into France, for example, or maybe just something that comes back to the UK. You know, I tried one in Ireland and it was good crack. We all went out for pints, right? But you get the idea. Moving it around is, I think, to a lot of people, it's better, right? What I found here, though, is just strange, because where you have FlightSim Weekend doing one thing and then FS Weekend, if they want to call it that, doing something else, there's a clear divide here. There's conflict or some sort of an argument or a whinge or a moan over something. And they're saying, no, we're going to do our... Like, from the Aviodrome's perspective, they could probably argue, listen, it's been held at this venue for the last number of years. How many years, I couldn't quote, but I'd say it's a lot. For a lot of years, it's been at that venue every single year. From the organizers' perspective, they're saying, listen, we've reached the ceiling. We need a bigger space. We need to be able to travel around and, you know, try out different venues, which is very much kind of like the FSX approach. For them, well, now they're getting kind of, well, what are these lads doing? We're FS Weekend. No, we're FS Weekend. You know, I'm just waiting for someone else to jump up. We're FS Weekend, and so is my wife. Like, that's the kind of void we have there, you know? Very interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, James says, I think personally aviation as a whole is inclusive, right? So we're all from different walks of life and so on. I like the idea of going to different locations around Europe, maybe, and then experiencing different cultures. Yeah, dude, that's a huge, it's a huge draw for so many people, because they can travel to different areas. You know what I mean? Just move all the airplanes out of the hangar. Problem solved. Problem solved, Tyler. Problem solved. But yeah, I think it's a good one. Sorry, I say it's a good one. I think it is a good topic to discuss. What would you rather? Do you know, would you rather go to the same fixed location, or would you rather travel around? Everyone's going to have a bit of a different take at it. Dreams of Wings is here. A very good evening to you, sir. Hope you're well. He says, good evening, Murph. I can't believe I went to my first ever FlightSim show at Cosford back in 2019, and then the bleeding COVID killed it off. Yeah. Cosford was a great show. I never got the chance to go to it. I always read about it and saw it online and whatnot. But yeah, I never say never. Right, there's definitely scope for a FlightSim show in the UK. There just is. There's a massive user base in the UK. You know, Captain Minnesota, good to see you. Am I going to Expo? Yes, I shall be. They saw how huge this year's FS Weekend was, and they wanted a piece of that cake. Says Henry. Maybe that could be it. Like, my understanding is at the Aviodrome that weekend, what made it busier, the event wasn't closed off to the general public, meaning that you had families and kids going to the event as they would going to the museum, right? And now you throw in a couple of thousand flight simmers. That just made the thing very busy, right? So, yeah. Like the idea of being in Utrecht rather than Lelystad. Yeah, like, there's not much in Lelystad, you know, and like logistics and whatnot. You still have to get out to the airport. Yeah, you can get a train into Lelystad, but you still have to get out to the airport. Now, the solution in Utrecht isn't much different. You can't get the train out of the exhibit hall, so you'd have to get, you know, the train from Amsterdam and then taxi or whatever. And taxis are wild expensive in the Netherlands. Them Dutch taxi drivers, these are taking the absolute Dennis Hickey lads. Nothing against the Aviodrome, but Utrecht, Lelystad, yeah. I would love to see the museum, but I guess the frequent attendees have been there. They're probably bored of it. Yeah, it's one way to look at it. My first FS show was in 2015 at the Helicopter Museum in Weston. Ooh, Weston! A FlightSim show in 2015. Jesus. Tuga says, I did Cosford a couple of times. Pretty good for its day. Yeah. Sounds like the event has outgrown the venue. That's what it sounds like. But then, you know, the Aviodrome clearly not happy about this, you know. In some ways, it would be cool to have 3 different FS events, wouldn't it? Almost showing how much bigger FlightSim has become. Yeah, in a way. But I mean, the reality is, though, there's only so much. You know, I mean, if you added a 3rd event there, what makes the whole thing interesting and questionable for me is you will still have developers releasing information prior or after these events rather than waiting to give their information out at these events, because that's what the announcements are all about, right? You'll hear and see developers making massive announcements outside of those events, and you're just like, well, why are you doing that for? You know, an expo in Japan will be legendary. Could you imagine? Tyler, if you organise it, I'll make sure I'll go. But yeah, we flew there ourselves in a Gazelle on the Saturday. My PPL, no way, man, no way. But yeah, it's an interesting discussion to have. Let's see where it goes. There's no doubt, be it from the FlightSim Weekend Foundation and the FS Weekend, both in the past have worked so terribly well together. I really enjoy. I've been to 2 FlightSim weekends. Thoroughly enjoyed both of them. This year, yes, I could see it a lot more clearer to say, well, there's a capacity issue, 100%. Right, but I always felt great after going to that weekend because I just thought it was a great weekend, you know. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Grinelli Designs DCS the F-100D Super Sabre. It's now available for pre-purchase. Grinelli Designs has opened pre-orders for its upcoming Sabre, as announced this week on the DCS World newsletter. The F-100D entered service in 1956 as the US Air Force's primary fighter bomber, succeeding that of the F-86 Sabre. Grinelli Designs states the module has been built from thousands of photographs, photogrammetry and laser scans of a museum F-100D. The flight model being tested against actual short and long period dynamic reports, also by verified F-100 pilots. The aircraft well-documented handling challenges are modelled in full, with the 45-degree swept wing introducing adverse yaw. This looks to be a very much kind of draw a line in the sand release for DCS. This looks incredible. And I remember last year at FS Expo, they were kind of showing early works of this, and man alive, it just looked class. It really, really did. Like when you look at the detail, this thing looks incredible. Absolutely incredible. Isn't it beautiful? Absolute savage. So pre-orders have now opened for that module, and pre-order now for $41.99, and that's going to give you a discount from the official price release or release price of $59.99. So yeah, you can get yourself a discount if you pre-order. What am I looking at here? Is that some? I'm lost now. Is that like? Is that a rocket propelled friggin' Sabre that can be launched off a cassette? Really? Interesting. Yeah, JATO. So attach it to a rocket there and hit fire and the whole lot goes. That's savage. Roy says, who will legally win the name FS Weekend? Whether Aviodrome will rebrand later. Yeah, no idea. A small country with 2 FlightSim events. I don't know. I think if they're going to continue in as 2 separate events, it'll damage both of them to the same effect, I think, you know. Make it less about dev announcements and more about just hanging out, kind of like the whole bar thing, but on a bigger scale. Kinda, right? I mean, that's always the nicety of an FS Weekend or an FS Expo. But you need to have, like, you need to drive the people to it. Hey, you're going to get hands on this. You're going to be able to try that. You're going to be able to do everything else, you know. Nick says ZLL zero length launch system. Static dash, one is in Europe, one is in the United States. That's mad looking, isn't it? Very excited to see this come out. Now, over to the news of X-Plane. SoFly have released its Cardiff airport for X-Plane 12. Developer SoFly released in Cardiff. The new release is the developer's first entry into the X-Plane 12 platform. SoFly said on their blog post that the airport, it's an up-to-date rendition, high-quality textures, detailed modelling, and plenty of exterior modelling for the GA areas and also the British Airways maintenance hangar. SoFly brought us Cardiff earlier on this year or late last year, and now available over in the world of X-Plane, which is great to see. In partnership with iniBuilds, they're publishing it, and we can see it here in the world of X-Plane 12, which I gotta say, lads, is just a very good simulator. It's a magic one. Let me see, we got buttons here and no alerts. Ross Cud, thank you very much indeed for the raid. Good evening to you. Welcome in, raiders. Hope you guys had a great stream. Marianne, good evening. Thank you for the follow. And also, is it Gangaloo? Welcome in. Thank you very much. Hope you had an awesome stream, guys. And you're very welcome in. So this is great news from SoFly with their Cardiff airport now being released over in X-Plane 12. You can pick it up over on the Ini store for £13.99 excluding taxes, and it'll be made available via some other stores in the coming week. So pretty big news here for SoFly. SoFly is owned by Callum, who's part of FS Elite, but they started off with the weather presets, then they kind of took on from there with the sound engine and now sceneries, and this is their first one rambling into X-Plane. So great news there. Now, Nimba Simulations have released Charlotte 1.4 for X-Plane 12, which is a free upgrade, introduces a host of visual and layout enhancements to the scenery. Charlotte Douglas International serves as American Airlines' second busiest hub and has steadily become one of the fastest growing airports in the United States. Located only 6 miles away from the heart of Charlotte, the airport is known for being a mega connector while growing its international presence in recent years. We got some screenshots of it here of what the update is all about. Looks very nice. Charlotte's a huge airport, isn't it? It's massive. Absolutely. Nimba Simulation Studio Charlotte version 1.4 headlining feature includes improving the ground textures across the airport while updating the layout to better match the real-world airport. Runway and aprons now have refined colour variations to ensure surfaces appear more dynamic no matter what distance you are from them, and in addition, the concrete and asphalt textures have been enhanced. Regarding the airport expansion, new blue and orange taxiway lines have been added. The same lines were added to the real life more efficiently to more efficiently route aircraft around the construction areas. The latest update is doubling down on offering X-Plane pilots a well-polished and realistic experience in Charlotte. You can go ahead and pick up that update for free if you already purchased the scenery. Huge. I laugh at your huge. Yeah, okay, it's not very huge. It's big for, Irish standards, but yeah, it's small for American. Now, an update from SayIntentions. They've been very busy over the last couple of weeks, and in particular, we took them out for a spin a few weeks ago. We were planning a VATSIM flight. It was like 40 odd minutes to get pushed back. I lost the will to live and I said, you know what? We're going to fire up SayIntentions here and let's see how it handles the flight. And I got to say, from start to finish, it absolutely nailed it. That was flying out of Frankfurt over to Madrid, and it actually gave a incredible experience. Everything it did was bang on the money, and I was very impressed by it. Looking into the updates then in the past week or so, we've already learned about the CPDLC setup with the Tolus A340, and the other updates include that of Pocket Sky with its logbook, brand new website, refreshed website, and there's some ATC updates here as well. With Pocket Sky, this is an app that lives on your phone, and when you're flying along using SayIntentions, you can interact with the flight using the app. You can see your ATC communications, you can go up and look at ATIS reports, you can see different runways or airports around you. It means you can kind of step away if you want to and monitor your flight if you're inside, while looking at me while your plane is flying. Never thought of that. But anyway, it introduces a logbook feature, so it's a new way to review and also replay your flights. Up until now, once a flight ended, that experience was mostly gone on your mobile device. Flights could never be reviewed, or flights could only be reviewed using the pilot portal. Now, every flight is available to review via the app, which includes where you flew, how the flight progressed, and also the entire interaction between you and ATC, including audio playback. So let's say, for example, from a training perspective, if you're flying along, ATC throw you a curveball, or maybe you don't answer back the right way. This is a great training aid because you can now go back and figure out, that's where I got it wrong, or that's where they got it wrong, and you can report it back. It's just something cool to have on your phone. I use Pocket Sky the whole time. I think it's great. I mean, there's a lot of features already built into Pocket Sky when it comes to, you can use it for writing down like a scratch pad. That's been there for ages. But also then just that kind of companion app, to use the word companion app, with all your flights. It has just received an update, and it's Pocket Sky 1.8. So pretty cool there. What else do we have? ATC updates have gone through again. And I don't know if whenever you log into SayIntentions, you can see kind of, the change log of what they're doing. You usually see 5, 6, 7 topics a day of just kind of, behind the scenes, under the hood work that they're working on. But a lot of new stuff is being added to how ATC can communicate with you. For example, so when it came to vectoring, you have options inside your pilot portal to say, listen, I always want to fly the full approach, or do you want ATC to kind of give you vectors to help speed you along? You have the choice of both, by the way. And there's also a setting, let's say you want to land at an airport and SimBrief is giving you 10 left. This happened to Chewy last night. SimBrief gives you 10 left, but SimBrief gives you 10 left, but the SayIntentions ATC are telling you 10 right. There's a setting in the pilot portal to say, hey, be very strict with the runway selection, or let me request a runway and don't fall out with me. So you kind of have those options. So Chewy was obviously working off the very strict setting there, which I got to say, I do that myself all the time. I'm like, give me runway 10 right, land 10 left. No, 10 right. Yeah, it can happen, right? But the settings are there. You can change them around. But with SayIntentions, they've been fixing some of the phraseology and just kind of how things are happening during the different stages of flight. For example, incorrect vectors being issued immediately after departure. What could happen there? You take off, you could be told fly runway heading, and then you're like, what do we do now? I did a flight earlier on. I didn't even get to 2,000 feet, and then automatic handover, and that was from the tower. Then I got onto departure. They gave me vectors, and it was actually pretty cool. I took off out of Dublin, 10 right, and flight runway heading, expect vectors to Peleg. I took off, came up about 1,800 feet, ATC, contact departure, hello departure, good man, yeah. Turn right heading 255, vectors to Peleg. Turn right to 255, continue direct Peleg. And it all came true. I was impressed now, I gotta say. With the IF4 stuff, fixed a rare case where ATC could go silent. We've seen that happen once or twice. They found the issue. It's now been fixed. And then this one here, fixed approach handling issues after go-arounds. This was an interesting one. If you had a go-around, it was very hard to kind of come back in on the approach. So that was interesting, and it's since been fixed. And you also heard these new things now, like where they have, when you're listening to the other aircraft, they're saying, right, other aircraft slow down or you slow down. And you have these now conditional landing clearances, both for US and for Europe, where in America it's like clear to land number 2. All right, cool. Or in Europe, it'll say continue approach. You are number 2 behind the company, whatever. It can do all of these things now. So when you're just flying along with SayIntentions in the background, be it your interaction or its interaction with other real life pilots or with the AI, you're starting to pick up these new things, right? New lines of communication, which is coming through. Also note in the group flight chat has a push to talk toggle now. Yeah, they've also made a lot of changes. We'll cover more on that when it comes to the groupie stuff soon. But they've been flat out with all these, and it's just great to see. It's just great to see because they're listening to feedback. And with the new website launch as well, check it out, lads. We had a quick look at this last week, and you can kind of see they're doing their best to make this as accessible as humanly possible. So yeah, it's getting pretty cool. The big thing, of course, a reminder with SayIntentions when it comes to how their traffic injection works. It's not at all affected by flight radar. They use their own science when it comes to traffic injection. They use schedules and then they build up the routing after that using their own model. So if anyone hasn't tried it, I recommend, lads, give it a blast. You can try SayIntentions for 24 hours for free, no obligation to buy. Just give it a shot and see what you think, and then you have a couple of purchase options. It is a subscription based model because this tech is expensive, and the features that they add to it, it is far more than ATC. I've always said this, it's far more than ATC. It's an entire ecosystem of FlightSim capabilities and plugins. It's class. It's brilliant. I love it. So make sure you check all that out. We'll have more news from SayIntentions next week on additional stuff they're working on. But that shall round up, Jesus, it's night time, that shall round up our FlightSim news. So what we're going to do here now, lads, we've a couple of add-ons to check out. All right, we're going to start off very quickly here. This is the PMDG 737-700. This is the high detail update, and I know a lot of you have been, excited to see, well, what does this actually mean for the aircraft, and what sort of an update should I expect? Anyone who remembers the standard version, if you like, of the 73s, the exterior quality, the modelling was fine, but some of the texture works were a little bit kind of lacking. Well, I'm happy to report this is a different kettle of fish. This is very good, and I'll show you what I mean by that. They have made enhancements pretty much everywhere on the visuals. Everything's sharper. There's more objects being added. I mean, look into the wheel well for the rear landing gear. Like, there's details, and like you can read stuff. Decals are very, very clear, and we also have options to be pushing buttons outside, similar to that with Phoenix when it comes to a walk around mode. But just the detailing here from PMDG, like, this shouldn't have been this late in the day. This should have came out with the original release, but obviously they wanted to get everything else right first. But like, just to show you, there's detail, and it's like, it's incredible. You can read pretty much everything. It's quite impressive, but it goes beyond that of just the decals and all this kind of stuff. Mind the engine, Murph. All the textures have seen a substantial update here as well. The reflections are absolutely gorgeous looking, and I gotta say, the performance, I've no impact on performance, which is great, right? I found out today with the Phoenix, if you go inside the wing, yeah, you can see everything moving around. Yeah, it's nuts, Stu. It's nuts. But yeah, I mean, if you look here on the leading edge, look at the detail is there now. It is superb. It's very, very pretty. The visuals that they've added to it, it's stunning. It really, really is. I took this out for a quick flight earlier on, and I was looking at it going, holy crap, this looks good. So yeah, it is. I mean, you can see the detail here. I don't know how well this comes through on a live stream. Like, when you talk about texturing, like, it is insanely detailed, right? It's great to see. If we were to go inside into the aircraft, the same level of care and attention when it comes to the high detail update has been applied inside the craft. Quick jump in here, and we can see it now from the cabin as well. Everything is way sharper, better models, better everything, and it's super, right? Absolutely super. And it goes beyond just the visuals. Like, they call it the high detail pack, but it does affect a number of different things as well. They refined a couple of the sounds, a couple of systems, got a bit of refresh in here as well. And as I say, just looking around the cabin, you have access here to a multitude of different stuff when it comes to the cabin. It's just done really, really well. And I think the existing owners, having upgraded to 2024, you're going to be happy with this update for sure. We know that this upgrade, it now exists on the 736, 7 and 9, and the 737-8 is on the way. Again, having a look at the cockpit here, everything is so sharp. Everything is so sharp, and I think it just looks incredible. It really, really does. It's what you'd kind of expected, or what you wanted when it comes to PMDG. So if anyone was kind of worried, can they still kind of perform? Can they still get things right? Yeah, they can. It's just going to take a bit of time. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. Am I happy that there's upgrade prices and it costs you the price of a coffee? Yeah, if the coffee was covered in friggin' Fabergé eggs, maybe. But they do still fly very well. I think anyone who flies PMDG aircraft, you just know they're solid. I think they're solid. I think they're a very, very good plane. Surprised I didn't charge another cup of coffee for it. Yeah. Now, Murphy's Murphy, so you know me, lads, I will find an issue, and I found a bit of an issue, but it's not going to like alert the media, right? But you can see there's a couple of floating decals here. Now, whether or not that's going to wreck your head, I don't know, but like, if it's in there, no better Bull now than Murphy to find it. So there's probably one or two small little issues. It's hard to see this. You'll see them more in the drone, right? But when you're in kind of default camera, they're nowhere near as pronounced as this, right? But yeah, it's just kind of everything else is it's just sharp. It's very, very sharp. And bearing in mind, I'm using the drone camera, which does have a different kind of rule set of LOD. So if we were to jump into the cockpit, well, you'll kind of see everything here of just how nice, how sharp, how crisp everything is in here. The update is available through your PMDG installer. That's where you'll see it. Like you can kind of see here, look, they're nowhere near as bad, you know. They're still kind of bad. PMDG, you need to sort this. Quick, grab your pitchforks. We're all giving out to them. They need to fix that. Because this is an area that your eyes are drawn to if you want to check for circuit breakers. Even though they're not modelled, mind you. Right? The far side, I didn't have the same issue. Far side is fine. So that's relatively easy fix. Just move a bit of whatchamacallit, a texture file. That's all. But yeah, if I didn't find a something, well then I'd be worried. I found a something, so I'm happy. But I gotta say, overall, the visuals in here, lads, everything's just oomphed. Great, great new details. Everything's sharp. There's nothing that looks weird. I just think it's a great quality of life update from PMDG, both from the exterior into the interior. And hopefully you can see on the camera yourselves. I mean, looking at this is pretty dang good. This is pretty good, right? But yeah, Kevin says the books are also clipping. Are they? Lemons are okay. The books are also clipping. Didn't see those. They look okay. What do you think, lads? It looks impressive, doesn't it? Like, when you look at the detailing here, like, look at the floor, look. Like, you're talking savage detailing here. Really, really fixed up. I don't know what their methods were, but it looks great. And there's no impact that I can see on performance whatsoever. So that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. Now, next up, while we're here, well, I want to show you some stuff. So we're going to do mad things here now. So bear with. Let's see here now, because I want to show you this TriSim. Get some battery only stuff on and ground power. And I'm going to load back in the aircraft, kind of up and running, right? Because I just want to show you this. So let me see. We're going to load a state. And we're going to say taxi. Right, so we're going to load all this up. Yeah, the difference is like YouTube 720 and 4K. It really is. They're clipping at the bottom. Ah, okay, sweet. We'll have a look. Right, so allow the aircraft to come up. Ah, look, it's absolutely terrible. Ah, quality control. Where were they? Well spotted. Right, we'll get this up and running, and what I want to do, I want to change the Veja. Let's see here now. So we're going to open the weather. Gipper says, I really like SayIntentions. The wrong runway moments and the ATC guy in London who sounds like Dracula always cracked me up. Brilliant. Alright, so what I want to do here, I want to put us into some rain. And there's method for me madness here, lads, right? Now, I said aircraft load me as if we were on the thing. Why aren't any of these coming up? My screens aren't working. My screens are now working. So what I want to show you here, lads, is TriTriSim's GFX. And what we have here is a little gadget. And in the gadget is a little, this is a little kind of control box. Now, it is very much a set it and forget it, right? But you can turn things on or off here and just get an idea. So we're looking at the effects we can see so far. You can see that rain getting pushed back at the back of the engines of the aircraft. And I've got to say, it looks pretty nice, right? So we can see, okay, the effect intensity. Well, what if we were to bring this up to like 0.2 times? Or bring it off? I don't know what the delay might be. Master off. Master on. And we can see, don't mind the FPS counter because I'm using frame gen, right? Shouldn't that turn them off? Thrust on rain. Water. Water trails. Is that like using default? You missed the raid. Yanni, crazy. Where's this now? I think you can open that folder. It's a map. Yeah. Right, we'll turn all this on. This should react pretty much straight away. We hope. Cyrus is like, man, Murphy, you had one job. So it knows we're in the 7.3. It is compatible with this. Cinematic mode. Enable cinematic mode. I wonder, do I need to have the other thing turned off? We'll see. We'll try now a quick push here. By saying nothing to no one. Right? Murph would never break it. Yeah, my point's exactly. Right, so we're running with... Easy now. Engines are on. Flaps are set. So we'll just do a bit of a push here. Because it's all about the effects we're trying to grab, you see. I have a terrible feeling that isn't working right. Authenticated successfully, yes. It is turned on. Huh. Right, we'll give it a second. I wonder, do I have to turn it off from in here maybe? Diddly-dee, diddly-dee. GSX, active weather. Well, that's kind of strange. I think it disables default effects. It adds to. I don't think it disables. It adds to Yeah. That's the idea. But we should be getting more effects of this. At least it was earlier on. Horse it up there to 2 anyway. And we'll stop pushing. Right. The main thing we're looking at here is behind the engines where you're looking at the water, right? So we'll have a look at this as we increase a bit of power, right? You had one job. Right, so no, they are working now, right? So I want you to have a look at the engine, for example, right? We'll move our camera up this way. Have a look at the condensation coming in and the vortices and all this jazz. They're nice effects, aren't they? Try both engines. So you can see the effects working there just on the how do I turn that on? You can see how they're working there, right? How do we turn that off, Murph? I managed to turn something on and I don't know how to turn it off again. Okay. We'll move her on. And we'll do a quick rotation here just to show you, right? But effectively what we have with this airliner pack, it works with a number of different airliners. So the PMDG 737 fleet, the 777s are in there, iniBuilds are in there as well. And you have this kind of cinematic mode that's to manually tweak humidity and the angle of attack on the fly. Every effect built from scratch. Cold engine start, so you can see initial smoke and unburnt vapor burn off during the engine spool up. Thrust on rain that we just had a look. Water trails, we'll have a look at those in a moment. Vortices after takeoff. Engine condensation that we looked at. And then we have condensation building up in the wings. You also have wing fade in kind of very low visibility when you're looking out at the wing, if you're in the built-up clouds, you'll actually see some of the wing kind of fade off into the cloud. It's very immersive looking. What else do we have here? And then contrails. So what we'll do, we'll taxi out here a little bit. I don't know how I turned that yoke on. How do we turn this on? Info tags, there we go. I fixed it. Volunteered with a group from Derry, Ireland. Great bunch of people. Ooh. Right, so if we're looking outside the aircraft, you'll start seeing now on the wheels, especially. See the water getting kicked up? I just want to get out onto the runway and show you. Digital America to see it. We'll take off from here because, you know, there's no one in Dublin. They can't give out to us too much. Easy now. I gotta say, man, it looks class, doesn't it? Especially for these, the updated 7.3s. Looks class. Right. This thing is gonna scream at me, but I'm not worried. So you can see there the effects on the engine, look. Isn't that deadly?
Hello there.
Right, we'll try and keep this in the straight and narrow. See the wheel effects? Like, that looks class, lads. Just I hope we can take off before we run out of runway. Yep, see daisy. Look at the vortices in the wings. Impressive, right? See the vortices? Absolutely class. So if we pull up a bit, see the lines coming off the wings? It's very good. And like, in terms of a performance hit, there's nothing. Absolutely not. Murph, can you please show the contrails of other aircraft? How can I do it? Will it work with SayIntentions? I'm not quite sure. Looks cool, but I don't think vortices work like that in real life. They usually vortex in the bottom of the cowl. Yeah, it can happen, yeah. It does look pretty good though. Into the rain. I mean, that's mad looking. See there in the wingtip? The wing, like, it's lost in the cloud now. Like, that's very good. Isn't that very good? Usually you don't get that. Mother of J's is the angle of attack here. Easy now, Jemima. Let's not worry about this. I mean, what goes up must come down. We know this, right? Everyone just... It's zero gravity. Yeah. Right, our speed is back a little bit. This is great news. Yeah, there should be default echo. Yeah. Oh, Jesus, now we're over speed. The LOD works great. The engine's disappearing. But you get the idea, right? The idea behind it, it adds these effects to the aircraft. And because the air is different where we are now, you don't have the same sort of effects. Do you know what I mean? Can we check it with SayIntentions? We can. Whether or not now this is going to inject traffic straight away, Roy, I'm unsure. But we'll give it a blast. Leave that set for the minute. And I need to log into my pilot portal. Pilot portal. Bear with me now, bear with me now. We will go into our settings, traffic injection, and turn that dial up. So what we're trying to see here in a few moments is going to be, yeah, don't mind me, lads. I'm not flying this in any way that reflects. Well, it's accurate for Ryanair, but I'm not trying to, you know. It's a tech demo. Right. Northland Air, good to see you, buddy. Just going to wait and see if we can get some traffic from SayIntentions and then have a look at some contrails. It just might take a moment to load in, that's all. It is working. Let's see what happens. Edson, good to see you. You're very welcome aboard. So we read out your statement, Edson, as well, just in relation to folks talking about SimFX and you know what's possible and what isn't possible, and also the standards that you guys go for, where you have TriTriSim now with their offering. It's I mean, it looks the part. But I don't know, we're just trying to see contrails, because I know with SimFX that put contrails in the sky. I mean, it's regardless of traffic, right? There was certainly stuff with that. Roy, I reckon I'll probably have to set up a flight to show this a bit better. You know what I mean? Or at least that's me thinking. Because it'll take a few moments for aircraft to kind of take off, move around, get scheduled. And I actually need to check the compatibility. It does do contrails for AI traffic. You know, just need to see can they talk to the SayIntentions traffic. I imagine they would, right? I imagine they would. But as I said, it works with a number of different aircraft. This one, they call it airliner, GFX airliner. And as I say, if you want to try it out, it's a payware add-on, right? So it works with the Asobo A320 Neo. iniBuilds are in there with pretty much most of their fleet. Tolus it works with. Fly-by-wire it works with. The PMDG fleet is in there. iFly 73 Max is in there. They've just added the Citation X. The MD-11 is in there as well, and also the Phoenix. The 19, the 20, and the 21. Doesn't show the other one, you know? Yeah, some core differences for sure. Yeah, 100%. And again, Edson, it was worth noting. Like, I mean, it's got to be hard, right? Keeping your own friggin' standards when you see things like this. You're like, oh, just release it anyway. Like, it's to stick by your standards. I mean, it's a strong position to take, and fair play for it. Like, this is certainly something different that's out there. I think the effects do look really nice, especially during kind of takeoff. Up here, you're not going to see much, but overall, I think it's a good release for them. I gotta say, TriTriSim looks brilliant. So moving on, we've more things to do. What am I to do next? Oh yeah, right. So that was TriTriSim and the 737. Next, lads. Oh yeah, we're going to have a bit of crack with this now. So, Echo-19. Apart from anything else, is a genius, right? And with that, he has released his variant, the sound set, for the Cessna Grand Caravan. It's the Precision Audio Pack. And in addition to having all the awesome sounds, Echo-19 also included a number of very high fidelity liveries. We're going to go with a FedEx one here just to show this one off, right? And I remember Tyler sending me some pictures of what he was working on ages ago. I'm like, oh, dude, but you need to hear this, right? So we'll come on down here to Owl County Kerry High to just get an now listen. and we'll change the weather. It was actually quite nice here today. Live weather, but we'll go back a couple of hours because you need to hear the sounds of this. It's friggin' awesome, right? The price on this, you can pick this up right now on Echo-19 shop, and you can pick it up for €12.20. And just when it, just as we said when it came to the Cessna 172 Precision Audio Pack, this really does change a lot. We're going to start off at some of the most kind of basic things, because, friends, the sounds that have been included here have been recorded from the real aircraft, and it's far more than just engine sounds. Every single switch, dial and knob, everything has its own sound. And have a listen, right? This is just like, ASMR time. Right? Yes, very nice clicks. Down here even. Even the yoke movements. You can hear that elevator get to its final limit. CFD, gotta see ya. Good clicks. Just good sounds, right? Right, brilliant. Let's get some power into this machine and have a listen. I'll disappear my head for this because you just need to listen, right? Fuel has been turned on. That's all grand. We'll go with the battery. Isn't that impressive? Now we'll go outside and have a listen. Isn't it something? Right, hang on. I want you to hear this from the outside now, right? Like even the prop hitting the, like the blade slapping off the wind, it is incredible. Now listen to it start up again, right? We'll do this from here. Try not to hot start this one, Murphy. Right? Isn't it brilliant? And if you were wondering,
voice suppression on.
Isn't that deadly? The AC unit, absolutely class, right? Like, it's just class, the whole thing. So what we need to do Quick one now, Jemima. Don't mind me now for a minute. We'll get rid of the old headphone simulation so we hear this thing roar.
Voice suppression on.
It's very good, isn't it? It's very good. Right, I think we're okay with all this. We'll find out. Beta. Right, let's see how this goes for our flyby, right? Are we ready, sports fans? Sounds good, doesn't it? Jesus. Savage, isn't it?
Voice suppression on.
Alright, flaps in. Headphone simulation on. Yeah, the absolute state of class, isn't it? And if you listen to the prop, right? That sound is changing. Very good, isn't it? Yeah, the flyby sounds are just deadly. Absolutely brilliant. So from Echo-19, just another absolute friggin' masterpiece. Hey, the Limbix is here, good to see you. Run shotgun, good to see you, bud. And like, with the different liveries you get as well, it's absolutely brilliant. And lads, it's an absolute steal. Right now you can pick it up over on the Echo-19 website. I'm going to share that with you now. You can pick this up for €12.20. It's on special right now. This just transforms the default Grand Caravan. It just makes it sound so much better. And we have noise cancelling headphones as well. I think it's brilliant. I think the sound set on this aircraft is enough to get more people flying in the Asobo Grand Caravan if you did want to utilize the likes of these G1000s. What we have with the Black Square aircraft, very, very high fidelity simulation of the Grand Caravan. This one is a different variant. It's the EX version with different she has different avionics, you know. This is the default Asobo Caravan. Yes indeed, Captain RQ. I had about 12 microphones with this. Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's absolutely nuts. It's a great job, Tyler. It really is, dude. And yeah, I think a lot of folks are definitely going to give this a blast because those sounds are just so good. I mean, like the flyby sounds, like, where is it? Here. Where's my button? It's beautiful. We want to do the black, or wait, hang on. You want to do the 850? Do the 850. Just do the 850. You also need to do the A400, right? You have sounds to the 850, right? The 850, do an A400, please. Thanks very much. And a DC3, you know, and a Spitfire. Spitfire would be hard. P51. No, you have the P51. You already did the P51. Alright? Awesome work. Awesome work. So well done, Tyler. Absolutely incredible stuff. Well, just a massive congrats to you, buddy. Right, lads, we're going to move on to our last two topics for this evening. One is an aircraft and, well, one isn't. So I'm going to show you. We're going to load up here with the Hughes XF11. Fascinating airplane, this one. And we'll go back to Kerry, because Kerry is the kingdom. And for those of you who use OnAir, or you're interested in using OnAir, right? I'm going to show you something cool. So we're going to let the sim load in. And what I'm going to do here, I want to show you the new upcoming OnAir Companion, right? Hang on, we'll get this started first. The OnAir Companion. This was announced at FS Weekend earlier this year, right? And we're loaded in here into the Flying Fries XF11, which is absolutely class. So we'll go back to that in a moment. But with OnAir, you know, there's over 2.5 million flights registered on that platform. It is a subscription-based career mode add-on, right? And their subscription works out at, if you buy it for 2 years, that'll cost you about €72 for 2 years. It works out at about $3 a month. It's very good in that regard. If you go a shorter time, like a year or like a month, prices go up accordingly. But if it's something that you think you're going to like and you're going to enjoy, just grab it for the 2 years. That's what I do. However, what we have here with OnAir, they do have a trial mode, right? So OnAir Manager. And what you can do, if you want to give it a shot and just see what it's all about, you can start a free 7-day trial with no obligation to buy it. You can just have full use for a full 7 days to see what you think of the application. Now, if you're familiar with OnAir, the companion app is going to be of huge interest. If you've never looked at OnAir before, well, the companion app will be of interest because it's very powerful what they're doing here, right? So they've also brought out a new feature, or they're bringing out a new feature called the 24-hour freelance pass. The idea being is that you can buy these kind of passes in which you can just use the program when and how you want for freelance flights. Good idea. And then they've added this new local radio on arrival. The main thing that we're looking at, of course, is the redesigned companion app. Currently in development. I'm working on it's an alpha that's open right now. The idea being is it complements how you interact with this. I'll show you everything here. So this is the OnAir Companion app, and the first thing you're going to see straight away, the speed of how everything loads. That's it, loaded. Enter the world. That's it, you're in. So anyone using OnAir currently, you have to click it, it loads up for a few moments, and then you're in. But this, it's almost instant. The speed of this is absolutely incredible. And they've changed the UI a little bit here just to show it, right? So to give you an idea, this is our OnAir career that we started up on our live streams, Crash Logistics, and we can see what our reputation is like, our fleet size, how many employees we have working for us, and all just a nice dashboard kind of setup here. Then we can see our financial overview of our company. We can see our fleet distribution. We can also see then company details, the settings that we have in the sim. It's all done very, very fast. Everything's designed to be there in front of you. Have a look at it. We have all these options down the left hand side now, and this is what makes it kind of new, right? So with OnAir, prior to this, you would have had like a whole load of options up on the top. You still have some of them, right? You still have some of the options, and you can configure what you want to see as a quick, click of a button. Here's your skills tree. If you want to have a look to see your fleet management, where your aircraft are. If you want to go into your dispatch, select your aircraft, your departure, your destination, your alternate. You can look for your crew and company to bring them with you. All this kind of stuff, and you can access these from the top. But the main options, well, they're all down here on the left hand side. So our company desk, we see our dashboard, our mailbox. There is a chat function, partnerships with other users, and then our skills tree. We can go down to our operations, have a look at our fleet, and again we can go deeper into all these. We can learn more about them. We can go say, right, well, here's our Comanche, we can go in and manage the aircraft, and we can see, look, we can do a check ride on it, we can check its flights, enter the workshop, and just see how fast and responsive all of this is. And that's it's pretty cool to see it, lads, because those of you in the developer space, which is kind of fun, I'm looking at you there in the chat, you can kind of see this, considering where OnAir is currently at, just to show you a bit of a difference between them, right? Here's the current OnAir Company app loading up. That's okay, keep her going there now. The old version will no longer work and receive updates. Click OK to download, install the new one. Balls, right, okay. So I need to grab a new one. Download OnAir. We'll try it here, friends. Installing. Just to give you an idea, right? So this is OnAir loading the airports, loading the different worlds, and then we can go in and log in and do all our stuff, right? Tis taking a moment. Now we're in. Now we can enter our world, right? And you can see it takes a few moments to load in, and this is the original layout, right? And where you can see everything. This, you know, familiarity up here on the top, and you can edit which is which. These menus down here, like your company dashboard or with your aircraft, loading aircraft. Do you know what I mean? It's the pure speed that we have now with this. So we'll log back in here because we were logged out. So this is us now logged in. And if I'll close this client, and just to show you again how fast it is loading up one versus the other one. I mean, we're in. That's it, we're in. Very good, right? Great stuff. So other stuff we have then, the world, we can have a look at the aircraft lookup, or we can have a look at the find FBO. So aircraft, paste aircraft ID, or we can select it from a fleet. So I don't know, let's look for a one. Or actually, let's look for a TBM. Will that work? No, I was looking for a GUID. This is all still out, like it says alpha, right? So they're still working on it. Aircraft lookup. Or maybe I need to go to the marketplace. Search logistics, aircraft market. Here we go. Search by, right? So we go put in TBM 850. Let's see if this works. All classes, import, how to detect your aircraft, loading aircraft types. Again, it's an alpha. This mightn't all be tied off in the back end, but it's just to show you where it's at. Also, then when it comes to the industries, you have all the industry stuff here, and it is so fast. It is just so fast. The trading hall, where you want to get your stuff. The map loads now extremely fast, and you can also pinpoint your own aircraft on said map, and you can see where supply and demand is here as well, or you can just use it as a standard map. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Finance, then, your financial health of your business or of your entity, your cash flow and all the jazz. And they have this new training area. So this training quiz, you can do these over the period of your career inside it, right? And what you can do here, they'll hit a whole load of questions with you, and if you get them right, you'll unlock experience points that you can spend inside the sim. It's pretty cool. Inside its world. It's pretty cool. It's fun, and some of the questions will absolutely throw you off. I had a lot of fun with these, and you can do them kind of like once a month or something. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I just from this companion app, where it's at, the speed of it, the response time of it, I think the layout of it, it's a huge update over their existing one. And the good news as well, this does come with a full new manual, which is great to see. So I think I have it in here. We have it over here. So there's a new full handbook on the way, 102 pages, and what they've added, or what they're still adding to, where they'll give you a full explanation of what everything is, they also give you a too long didn't read section or summary at the end of each and every area. So too long didn't read, size is based on the longest runway, but all grass cap 2, 2020 airport data takes priority, if your destination doesn't appear on OnAir, check. Like, it's very, very good. It's a great idea for the manual, right? And if you don't want to be like reading down through everything, you can just do the quick summary at the end of each one. Too long didn't read, 2.13, and you'll see what it's all about. They're also working on other things, like we know already when it comes to our FBO. With our FBO, if we go to operations, my FBO, we have an FBO sitting up in Alaska. We can also add you know, we can add things to the FBO, such as a cargo hangar, which is new. Fuel is going to be new. Aircraft hangars, runways are going to be something you can do, and literally build a runway inside of the simulator, and anyone connected to OnAir will see your runway. They'll see the objects injected inside that living world. If you have buildings, if you have factories, if you have runways, if you have weather socks, other pilots inside OnAir can see that. They can come and visit your airport, and you can sell them fuel or offer maintenance, or, you know what I mean? It's class. It's absolutely class. So they're doing a lot of great work in the background. If you've never tried OnAir before, there's a 7-day free trial. There is zero obligation or commitment to sign up for them. Just give it a shot, and if it's your bag, if it's what you're looking for in your flight sim, be it a career mode add-on, or certainly just having this kind of industry tycoon behind. I mean, there's people who use OnAir who don't actually fly. They just use the industry side of it, the industry tycoon side, whereby you will identify resources throughout the world. You need to fly certain resources to different factories. Factories will then make said product. Said product then needs to go somewhere else to get worked on, and then you bring the finished product to like distribution centers. So aviation is always tied in there, but you could find, for example, and that's just the industry side of it, you can do the same with your virtual airline. For example, you can say, okay, Dublin Airport, there's like 3 major carriers here. Well, I'm going to offer flights from Dublin to London. I'm going to do it in an ATR, or I'm going to do it in the SAB, and I'm going to try and undercut all the other airlines. And, you know, will that actually work? Who knows? It might. You might get passengers, but now you might have the problem now your landing fees are quite high because you're only starting out. Or maybe it's the case, you know, maintenance is going to be expensive for you because you're only starting out. Or maybe it's better to fly for one of these airlines yourself, build up your experience points, and then you spend your experience points before you make up your own company in the skills tree, because this is where you can unlock, you know, better interest rates, better fuel sale agreements. You can open up different types of jobs, so passengers, dangerous goods, last minute or just in time, medical jobs, all the way down to hiring your staff. And your staff is not just cabin crew, it's ground crew, it's also mechanics. And then you look at the training facilities, how much wages you have to pay. And then on top of all of that, you have the customization. And what I love about this is we've created one. We called him Douglas Bader, but we can get in and we can edit him. We can change his name. We can name them after our own folks in the community. Same with your pilots that you take on. Same with your cabin crew. You can do all of that. It's massive. The depth and width of OnAir is truly staggering. And again, I'd recommend you to go have a look at it. It's a free 7-day trial. Give it a blast and see what happens, right? Your fish oil cells cover all the maintenance. That's the industry side. So you could say, right, we're heavily involved on the industry side, and you know that's doing so well. It's actually supporting us to do much cheaper flights for passengers in and out of major airports, and then suddenly in their global economy they'll see your airline going to the top with passenger numbers because, well, it's subsidized by your industry. It's class. Like it's pretty cool what you can do. I haven't even scratched the surface, and I've been live streaming it for weeks. Do you know? JJ Stevens, good to see you. When are we going to get the 738 update? Kind of crazy that they're making people buy the 700. Again, it's PMDG, man. I mean, they knew what they're doing. The good news is the 6, 7, and 900 have all been done with this high detail update. The 800 is next. I'd hope to see that very soon. I would hope to see it very soon, because it is quite a good update. It is quite a good update, you know. So that was the OnAir Companion App. Hopefully you like the look of that. Give it a try, lads. Just go on over to the website. I'll leave a link here in the chat. And as I said, there's no obligation. If you haven't tried it and you want to try it, get a 7-day free trial. Maybe aim it that you have a bank holiday weekend coming up, or you have a lot of time to spend doing some flying and just checking it out. We have a lot of videos on it. There's also a ton of other tutorial videos online, so I definitely go check it out. Right, now we're nearly there, friends. Our last bit now is for the Jesus, did I close that? Where's my button? Do. Right, here we go. So the Flying Fries, right, Lord Freet, this is the XF-11, the Howard Hughes airplane. Have you ever watched the movie The Aviator? This is a fascinating airplane. It's not a new airplane in Microsoft Flight Sim to any account. This was released back in 2020, but recently there's a good reason now to kind of, you know, blow the dust off the aircraft in the hangar, because it just received a version 3.0 update. Now you might be saying, Murph, what's that all about? Well, we'll go through it, right? The sound. This now has a new sound set, and there's a brand new sound engineer the Flying Fries is working with. They used to work with Asobo, and they've brought in a new sound set to this aircraft, in which we'll have a listen to it here now in a moment. The update is free to existing users, so if you own the aircraft, update or version 3 is a free update for it. And yeah, this will most probably be the final update for the 2020 variant, and the rest of the, you know, there's a 2024 version, a native 2024 version in the works. The good news is this works fine in 2024, but just be aware of, yeah, look, there is one in development already. All right, so the main features that have been added into this aircraft are refinements, but also a brand new sound set. So we're going to come down here and just remove some of these. Chocks can stay there. We'll get the covers off. And just having a look around the airplane, if you're not familiar with the XF-11, well, the history alone of this thing is absolutely nuts. And Flying Fries, I mean, the research into this aircraft, there's not a whole lot of information out there. He does have some of the original drawings of the plans and whatnot. But the idea of this aircraft was to be a high-speed, what's the word I'm looking for? Not an interceptor. It was going to be that of a observation aircraft, right? That was the idea behind it. And again, if you watch The Aviator, you knew what that was. You know what I mean? I'm in the 2024 739 now. Looks great. Yeah, Rick, brilliant. Yeah. Reconnaissance, that's the one, Boston Elf. Thank you. English sometimes escapes me. Recon, that was the idea behind it, right? Now, what has been included here from Flying Fries is nothing short of amazing, because yes, you get the aircraft, a very plausible recreation of it, right? But you also get a ton of features, tons of features, and some lovely Easter eggs around the way as well, right? Malky says, Jesus, one of the on-air pilots have managed to shag the engine of your Vision Jet. It only has 34 hours on it. I'd be getting rid of him now. The Limbics, yeah, it's very similar to a P-38 on steroids. It's the same sort of layout. We got dual propellers here on the front. This thing was fast, it was powerful, and very, very sleek from its design. Very, very sleek, right? But I want to show you some of the features inside the aircraft. So we're met with a beautiful cockpit, and we can come down here, like, look at the detailing here. It's gorgeous, right? Quick user guide, QR code, you can get it there. But the information, there's a document and there's documentation with the aircraft. But I want to show you some of the areas. So we'll ramble up here to where some of the features are, right? And again, this is all, you know, Howard Hughes inspired kind of stuff. We got our Flying Fries mug of tea or coffee. We can also see this new update from the sound pack, which is created by Gregory. Is it Monet? Monesma. Let's go with that. I'm probably butchering that name, but they've done incredible work. Really, really incredible work. And this is a free update, as I said, for version 3. So we have some stuff here. Caution hot. Wait, what? Hot, you say? Well, it's Flying Fries. I mean, you knew that was going to happen, right? But anyway, there's a number of other cool features and Easter eggs in the aircraft. Real picture of it, of course, with Hugh sitting in the airplane. Look. And we got a couple of more other things here as well. Just absolutely class stuff. A historic piece for an aircraft that unfortunately is no longer there. And then moving around inside in the main cockpit, you have so many different clickable options here, right? And we can open this up. This is how we get in and out of the aircraft. All right. So if we wanted to close this, I think we have a button for this somewhere. There's a switch down the bottom of the ladder. There we go. So that closes up. And if you come down here into this little trapdoor where we can see even more stuff when it comes to our fuel systems, engine fuel valves, oxygen tanks, ground power unit connection. If you want to go on the GPU, you can click that, connect everything up, it'll work. We've got some more beautiful photos here as well. Like, if anything, it's almost like a love letter to kind of, you know, to Hughes. This is just done so well. You can click on the cover, puts the cover and the tie downs back into place. Hell's Angels is there. We can interact with the radio here. We even have the some buttons to play with when it comes to the tape recorder or the camera recorder. Absolutely class, right? What else do we have here now? That's all our circuit breakers. These are all modelled. They all work in the airplane, right? And then we have some hydraulics over here as well. And if we scroll down, it's a lot of cool stuff, right? A lot of cool stuff. So what we're going to do, we're going to power it up because I want you to listen to the engines on this. So let me see. Battery. Alternators coming on. Chocks, covers, access ladder, get rid of. Chocks probably get rid of as well. And what we want to do is start up this machine. So we're going to go prop full. We're going to bring our mixtures all the way forward. And what else can we do here now? I want to give this a quick blast of a start and see what happens. So we do have some lights. We're going to go nav, Rico lights on here as well. Panel lights can turn on just to give us some lights. The night lighting on this aircraft is beautiful. Fuel, we're going to say left engine is on center, right engine on center. And we'll go tail for these guys. And we'll go both for there. Fuel pumps. Green lights coming on, mags coming on. And if we wanted an extra bit of assistance here, we can open up our little document holder. We can see we can add in drop tanks. We can call the fuel truck. That'll refuel then what we need to do. We have failures available on the aircraft. We also have some other options here. We can pop in a GNS 530 or 750. You can have failures, lucky failures, or random failures, and a load of this. Parking and engines off required. To fix the failures, visual effects, you can get the vibrations in there as well, and you can change out some of these in terms of noise reduction. You just have a lot of cool options, and then we have our reference speeds. So they're all there with the aircraft as well. So we want to start this up and see what happens. So wish me luck. We'll see what happens. We do have a primer for the right engine, and we'll give this a start and see what happens, will we? They were a smoky ass engine, right? Good sounds. Now we'll do the same for the left. Did you hear the Jesus Murph? Did you hear the backfire? Oh, mother of oh, we're going to die! I wouldn't mind, the brakes are on. Jesus! We're okay, we didn't die yet. Back it up there, Vinton, now, back it up. Reverse thrust? No. Maybe I should have left the chocks on. Why can't we back this one up? Pushback doesn't want to work. Alright, we'll fix it. Oh, balls. I know they did. Ah, balls! Right. Let's pretend we saw nothing and everything's fine. Yeah, everything's fine. Right. Let's try and have a listen to the sounds without the plane going absolutely mad, right? Are we ready? Yeah, he absolutely needs to fix the brakes. I told him earlier on, I said, you have to fix the brakes. He has to fix the brakes. They're completely shagged. That was the brakes on, by the way. Anyway, we'll hear the sounds now when we get moving. I don't think it's a Murphy issue. I think just the aircraft brakes need to be fixed. But have a look at the dials and all that. See all the vibration and the moving and the shaking and the rattling, even on the yoke itself. Class. Absolutely class. Right. We'll give it a blast and see what happens. Are we ready? Oh, be Janie. This is going to be fast. What happened there, lads? Right, there's beta. Right. Into beta. What are we doing wrong? Oh, cowl flaps. Easy now. Alright, there's full the beans. Good sounds. I was trying to figure out why you have to really manage the engines on this. Let that speed come up a bit. So it's the Flying Fries XF11. It's an aircraft that's been out for some time, but it's just received in the last few days a massive quality of life update, version 3, and it's class. It's a class act. So there's manifold pressure coming up. Look at the speed now. Like, this thing just wants to absolutely roar. It looked like a real huge test flight. Yeah. So do you know what I was doing? I was putting in far too much power. I didn't like it. Get these cowl flaps closed. That'll help with our speed. And then it's just the sounds, lads. Like, if you've listened to the flyby sounds on this before versus now, they are so good. Most unusual. Now, because I'm using chase plane, you can't actually see the pilot. We can load in the co-pilot because they've all been updated as well. Oh no, we can, look. So there's a new model of Howard Hughes, which is pretty cool. And we also have one of Gus, that's the co-pilot. So they've been added in this as well. This is a remarkable airplane. If you've never owned this, I'd highly recommend picking it up because it is fast. And as the Limbic said, I mean, this thing is like it's a P-38 on steroids, man. It's very fast. It flies really well, and there's so many features with it. There's so many features with it. Isn't it pretty? Murmur, good to see you. Think it's just the Microsoft Pilot's chase plane removes. Yeah, I think so. Now, what else do I want to do? Internal lights we're going for. Let's have a look at this at night time, shall we? Let's see here now. So all our lights are on, and we do have identification lights here as well. And well, let's see what it looks like at night time, shall we? Now, isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? And we've pretty much full control over this, look. Isn't that nice? Go to our jump seat. Does it have an autopilot? Autopilot does work, yes. Hold our altitude, we can go into VS mode, heading mode, and if we wanted to, we can include, oh jeez, I made it very dark, we can include a GPS in here, look. Now I don't know, is this just the, whatchamacallit? Is it just the TDS one? It looks like it's a TDS one, doesn't it? Alternators, avionics. Yeah, no, we're good, we're good. It's the PMS 51. So if we go heading mode, let's lock in a heading here of 210 degrees. And we can see that we've locked in our altitude. We can continue to climb by going VS mode. Let's climb here at, I don't know. Let's see here now. D. Fuel tanks, we're watching those. Feathering, we're watching those. Aileron trim. Access doors. They're all okay. Anti-ice systems are all okay. Yeah, she's working fine. And we have these identification lights underneath, not deadly looking. And we can control those. They used to use lights for identification lights for friendly forces when they were flying information. It's very good, isn't it? So again, lads, it's a free update. That's what's pretty cool about all of this. It's a free update. Version 3, it's now live. You can pick it up where you bought the XF11. And yeah, we're gonna have to do some flights in this thing soon. This is an awesome airplane. There's other updates coming to the Flying Fries fleet, including that of the Gabrielle. So there's more on the way for sure. Cap Chris, good to see you, buddy. And yeah, no, he crashed in this one. Yeah, he definitely, it nearly killed him. He crashed in this. But yeah, remarkable airplane, and like the speed and power of it, it's a machine altogether. We're booting along here at 270 miles an hour, no problem. Right, it's a great machine. And as I said, it's packed full of features. I can't talk anymore. It's packed full of features. Right, I need to go to bed. I'm talking like an absolute idiot. But yeah. When I picked up SayIntentions, I jumped when your voice came on loudly. I had no idea what was going on. Uh-oh. Yeah. He liked Mayo with his flies. Thank you, Scott. But yeah, it's an incredible add-on, lads. And if you haven't got it, I'd seriously consider looking at it. But definitely if you already have it in 2020, it works just fine in 2024. Version 3 actually had a couple of fixes when it came to 2024. One thing though, I'll talk to Flying Fries, to Lord Freet, the brakes need to be sorted on the ground, because any amount of power at all, you're gone, you know. So where's Frankenstein when you need him? Steiny, you know. But anyway, it's okay. I am also getting better with my words. Nice. Packed full of Egypts, indeed. But it's a great machine, lads. It really is. It's a beautiful machine. And these new sounds. That's awesome. It's awesome. So, yeah, great stuff from Flying Fries. Right, lads, we've covered a bit tonight. You know, we covered the 737 high detail pack. We had a look at TriSim GFX. We had a listen to the excellent Echo-19 sound pack for the Grand Caravan. The upcoming OnAir Companion, which I gotta say looks incredible, and also the updated XF-11. Next week we'll probably have a deeper dive into some of the SayIntentions stuff, especially when it comes to traffic injection, and listening to the new phraseology that they have, because it's mind-boggling the stuff they have. Do you know? Mrs. TPHI, yes, good to see you. Thanks for reminding me. I need to try the new update. It's really good. It's really, really good. But lads, we're going to be back tomorrow morning at 10:00 Zulu. We're going to do some daytime flying. We're going to be focusing on helicopters tomorrow, and then tomorrow evening we have a VATSIM flight we're going to be doing with the A320, and then Friday we have a group flight flying in the new Mosquito. So it's an action-packed 48 hours for sure. But yeah, I want to thank you all so very much indeed for tuning in. Hopefully you found tonight somewhat helpful when it comes to your add-ons or add-ons you were considering about getting. Hopefully this has been of service to you. You know, you're more informed. I'm not to sway you either way. I'm here to inform, so if I can do that and you feel informed, brilliant. I've done my job. So thank you all so very much indeed for tuning in. So we'll see us. I'll be somewhat lurking while flying with Ali. Nice, brilliant. Big Al, good luck. Time for work here. Good luck with work. Have a good one. But yeah. Again, thank you so much for the raids earlier on. We got a couple of raids this evening, lads, so thank you very much. If you're still here from the raids we got, you're most welcome, and thank you very much indeed for staying, and we shall see you all tomorrow at 10:00 Zulu. So until then, have a lovely evening. See you soon. Larry red, Larry yellow. Oh no!
I've had enough of this wowdy webble sniggering behavior. Silence! Call yourselves Praetorian guards. You're not. Seize him, blow your noses and seize him. What did Spartacus say when a lion scoffed his wife? Nothing, he was Galdiator.
Do you need a hand?
No, I don't need a hand. Do I need a hand?
It's heavy, yeah? Jesus, Murph!
Did you hear that bang? Did you? How do we fix this? Right, don't panic. It's usually the best. It's the best way to do things. You know what I mean? Usually the best way to do things is, no matter what sort of a day you're having, just come in and just have a bit of a slag with me, you know? I rarely use this word when it comes to FlightSim add-ons. I reserve it only for the special kind. But like, there's no point saying anything other than, this is shite. It's shite. Like, lads are over there, so we'll have to do a bit of a chicane here. Mother of Jesus! Give out!
What the hell? I'm 2 years old.